World Cup action later today. Spain takes on Belgium. Kickoff is at noon. Also, Mariners begin their final series of the season's first half. A 4:10 p.m. first pitch today against the Tampa Bay Rays. Luis Castillo, the starting pitcher in that one.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Teacher's gone, party's on. That's what I like to say when it's no Bump, no Stacy today. I'm Curtis Rogers. I'm always here. And I'm joined alongside by my good buddy, Ryon Walters, Seahawks analyst. B-Walt, how we doing on this beautiful Friday?
What a Friday. And we know Stacy's out golfing, but what do you think Bump's doing?
Bump's at the mall, I think. I think it's a Freaky Friday situation where they're doing the opposite of what we expect them to. What do you think Stacy's golf score would be? Do you think she could break 150?
No. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've never seen her swing it. I mean, I'm sure she has. Is she athletic?
No, okay. Not really.
So then no. The answer is no. I'll just go with that. That's the easy bet
all right.
if someone's never swung a golf club before.
Yeah, I can't imagine we're going to see her out on the links today. But she's out enjoying her Friday. And if you're out enjoying your Friday, make sure you keep it here. B-Walt and I, we've got you covered till 2 p.m. today. But, Brian, this Mariners team right now just kind of mired in a funk where it feels like for every one step forward and a 5-1 homestand, you're feeling good about that. You've knocked off the rival Blue Jays. You've swept the rival Angels. Everything's feeling good before you head out on this final road trip of the season's first half. And they have gotten off to a really horrible start on this 6-gamer prior to the All-Star break, getting swept by the Marlins last night. And now they face the team with the best record in the American League starting tonight, a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. It feels like everywhere the Mariners are turning right now, B-Walt, there just is not an answer. There is just – it kind of feels like you're in a dream and you're trying to outrun the bear that's chasing you, and you're pumping your legs, you're pumping your arms, and it's like nothing I can do will help me outrun this bear that's chasing me down. With all that being said, though, the Mariners are still within reach of first place in the AL West. They were in first place as of yesterday, not so much anymore as the Rangers have surpassed them. But where do you turn when nothing seems to be going right? And you and I, we were talking about this prior to the show. You've never spent time in a baseball clubhouse, but you have spent time in an athletic environment, in a football locker room. So where do you turn when it feels like nothing's going right?
First off, I think the whole dream analogy that you said is absolutely a perfect way to describe it. There's nothing better than that and nothing worse than that in a dream. Because the thing about the Mariners, thing about those dreams, like, you can do it, right? You know it's there.
My legs still work.
I know that I've caught a football before,
right?
And it's easy to do, but in that dream, it's just not working. No. Why do I lose this coordination? Why do I drop this? Why am I embarrassing myself? So I'm sure the Mariners can relate to that, because it's exactly what you said. It's just like, what's going to get them over that edge? What's going to make them that great team that we all expect them to be? And, I was lucky enough to be on the Seahawks for those 3 seasons where we really caught stride. And this didn't really seem like an issue. It's like we lost a game, well, then we won 4 more or 5 more in a row. And we were able to turn it around that way. But before I got to Seattle, I was on the San Diego Chargers for 2 seasons. And when I look at that San Diego Chargers roster, it kind of reminds me of a little bit this Mariners roster, the expectations. You have the skill, you have the talent, you have everyone there, you have the pieces, but why? Why couldn't we get over the edge? I mean, we had 2 seasons where we didn't make the playoffs, but we had one of the most stacked rosters in the NFL with Phillip Rivers, Vincent Jackson. You have stars all over the place, and it's just you couldn't get it done. You couldn't get over that hump, and it's a weird thing as an athlete to go through something like that. And what I kind of go back to is there's a difference when you don't have expectations on yourself or on your team, and you go into a season and no one expects much of you, and you just kind of play. You just play and let's see what happens, and no big deal. But when expectations are higher, there's amount of pressure that when a couple things go wrong, I feel like you can tighten up as an athlete. You can kind of say, oh, what am I doing? I need to fix this. Oh, we can't be like this. And it's almost a little catch-22 because it makes it tougher to win when you play like that.
Yeah.
But you want to win so much more, and you put so much more pressure on yourself. And that's what I saw with the Chargers teams, I think. It's just nothing was really coming together. We were losing tight games. We were losing games we should have won. Finishing the season at 500, where the Mariners are, just out of the playoffs. And fortunately, the Mariners are not out of the playoffs right now, which is a good news. That's the silver lining to all this.
About half the season still to go.
Yeah, a little less than half, and you're in. Are you tied for first? I should have looked that up.
I believe they're a half game back of the
first
Texas
place.
Rangers.
So it's like everything's there. They can figure this out. Not you don't want to put pressure on yourself that much, but at some point, you gotta learn to go out there and just play without thinking.
That's an interesting point you bring up because it does not feel like the Mariners are able to do that right now.
Yep.
It feels like any kind of moment where you need to lock in, they kind of overthink things and make a boneheaded play here or there. And when things aren't going your way, how hard is it to just not think about those small things that can then lead to big things in a game where, you boot a ground ball, a run scores, that's going to, make you tighten up. That's going to make you feel like, oh no, here we go again. Like, how hard is it for the athlete mindset to go from, like, I've done this every day, I don't need to think about it, like this is the easiest thing, and getting back there when you've had a really tough start to your season for a lot of these guys where I don't know if they've experienced struggles to this caliber, like Cal Raleigh, for example. Like, I don't think we've ever seen him at any level have a first half like this, and I imagine that's got to be really hard to get back to that place where it's second nature for you.
Yeah, well, especially after what happened last year, and that's what the expectations I talk about. Right? We had expectations that Cal's going to hit 70 home runs this year. Now, probably not. I joke about that. I didn't have that as my expectation for Cal, but you think that Cal probably has a lot of pressure on himself, right? I mean, he puts it on himself. He's a competitor. He wants to do it, and this isn't an excuse for him. And at some point in your career, and this is Cal's first time experiencing this level of stardom, level where he got to last year. It's his first time. And so the good thing about this is you hope he gets through this. You hope that he can get to where he needs to be. Doesn't need to be 60 home runs a year. I would love it in the 30, 40 if you can do that, right? Like, we'll take that.
I would love that.
But at least through all this, if he can find that swing that we love so much about Cal, then at least he's been through this. He's been through rock bottom when expectations are high and he's not been able to perform. He's been through it. And when you learn that, when you see that, again, I'm going to go back to football. And it's like when you go through a struggle like we did in San Diego or even individually, if you go through a time where, man, there's a week in practice, it's like, dang, my hands don't work. Where is it? But if you can get yourself out of that, then you know how to go back when you're in that moment again and catch it before it actually snowballs off the cliff. And that's, I think, what Cal's going through right now. And he needs to learn. He needs to find what is going to work. Is it something little? I'll tell you what. When I was, again, this is I don't want to compare myself to a Major League Baseball player, but like if I played baseball through high school, woohoo, all right, yay. But when I struggled, like I had a little thing I always went to. I had one thing that always worked, and that was my dad throwing popcorn kernels at me.
Oh, yeah.
And they're tiny. I couldn't see them, and he'd throw them, just whiz them at me, and I would hit them. But then when I got up to bat, the ball looked like a beach ball.
Right.
But it was something little
we used to do with like the little wiffle golf balls.
Yeah.
And like a little like broomstick.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, and I'm sure Cal's doing everything he can. That's not what but that one thing that he knows, okay, this is what I need to go back to and find it, and I'll be good. That's what he needs to learn how to find right now.
On yesterday's Cal Raleigh show, hosted by Shannon Dreyer, Cal mentioned how going from year to year, it's been hard on him. It's been hard on everybody to repeat what they did a year ago.
Anybody thinks it's going to be easy or you could just repeat what you did last year. That's never the case. Each year is different. It brings new challenges, new opportunities. And I think, looking at it through that lens, I think it's going to be important for us, in the second half to come out with that focus and come out with that energy and that edge of, nothing's given to you. Nothing, each day you got to go take it. There's teams in the league that are, trying to beat you every single day. There are teams gunning for you. We have that target on our back. We have to understand that, and we have to embrace it. We have to take control, and we are in control of our own destiny.
It does kind of feel like baseball lends itself to a higher variance from year to year in terms of player performance. Like, you'll see a guy hit 40 home runs one year, and then the next year, for whatever reason, cannot find that swing. He's hitting 200, finishes the year with like 18 home runs. And then the next year he jumps back up to about 30. And it feels like baseball is the one sport that lends itself to dips in production like that. Whereas like in football, Patrick Mahomes, you could probably lock him in for 4,000 yards every year. Aaron Rodgers, when he was with the Packers, 4,000 yards every single year. Like, your superstars in football and superstars in basketball are largely going to have a similar production every single year, give or take a few bad years here or there. Whereas in baseball, I mean, it is so up and down for everybody year in and year out. I mean, look at Julio's year this season. He got off to a slow start in April, and then in May hit 10 home runs, and we're like, oh, Julio's back. This is the best first half Julio's ever had. Like, this is awesome. He's going to hit 40 home runs this year. He's going to be MVP. Like, this is great. And then June comes, and he hits, I think, 2 home runs in that month. Hasn't played in a week, and it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing him prior to the All-Star break in this Rays series. But it is really hard to just kind of repeat any season in baseball just because of how fine everything is in the game, where if your swing is just a millisecond off, like you're done, you're cooked. And not to say that Cal is cooked by any stretch of the imagination, but like looking at what he did a year ago compared to this year, like, yeah, something is definitely amiss.
Yeah. And, one thing, too, I kind of appreciate about baseball is you're so zoomed in on these stats. Like, a 300 hitter compared to a 200 hitter. In baseball, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But think about it in any other sport. In basketball, all right, you're an 80% free throw shooter versus 70% free.
You're still pretty good.
You're like,
free throw
okay,
shooter.
yeah, all right, yeah,
like,
that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Football, you complete your passes 73% of the time. 67% of the time. Oh, all right, that's not bad, but that's the difference between a 300 and a 240 hitter.
Exactly.
And so baseball's so zoomed in on those results like that, and so obviously it seems like you're doing brutal. But if you were to, it's just a tough. It's just so zoomed in. I don't know. The stats are so right there in front of everybody, and that's what you have to judge anyone off of is stats. You can't change a game any other way except for by your stats in baseball. Where football, you can. Like, okay, I made a big block and was able to spring a guy for an 80-yard run. Oh, that you changed the game that way without the stats showing up.
Exactly. And Cal also yesterday saying that despite everything that has gone on with him, with the team, they know they're still in it. They have an opportunity in the season's second half.
I think guys are a little disappointed with how, things have shaped out. But ultimately, you put it in perspective and you understand that each season is going to bring challenges and things, like I said earlier. And, you got to look at it, put it in a different lens and understand that, we're still in this thing. We're still have a chance to do something really special. And to me, it's about, going out there and doing it. And just, like I said, sticking together and not worrying about the outside noise.
And, I mean, look, there's plenty of outside noise. There's been a lot of it from the WBC with him and Randy to even the start of the season, and then he gets injured. Like, it's funny, B-Walt, how you and I kind of started this conversation just looking at the Mariners as a whole. Like, what do you do when nothing is going right? And it has developed into a conversation about Cal and the season that he's had. And I think that kind of speaks to the bigger picture of the Mariners, where everything points back to Cal. Like, that is your superstar. That is your guy that when everything is going wrong, he should be the one to, be there to hit the big hit, to hit the big home run. And it just hasn't been that case this year. Where do you find that star when you're the guy who you've been relying on for the last few years just is not performing the way that he has? And I think that is going to be the biggest question that the Mariners have for themselves to answer in the next 24 days when the trade deadline happens, August 3rd, because I get that Cal is the face of the franchise. He puts the most butts in seats. He sells the most jerseys out of the team store. But can you continue to go forward with the way Cal Raleigh has been this season before you maybe look at that and say, like, is that something we need to improve upon? Not saying like trade Cal or anything like that, but maybe sit him for a few days just to get his mind right. I know the All-Star break is coming up. That could potentially be a spot where he gets right, but all in all, like, this Mariners team will go as far as Cal Raleigh takes them this year. And unfortunately, it just has not been there at really any point in the season's first half.
But I think the Mariners have been kind of fortunate this year that has been some other guys that have stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
When your star players aren't performing how you're supposed to, and if your other guys,
pitching staff for sure,
but some hitters, I mean, think about Canzone, what he's done for them.
Yes.
Without Canzone this year,
Raley,
where are the Mariners? I mean, the way he has stepped up into that spot when needed, and been kind of a little bit of firepower for him at the plate, I think has been a big thing. Yeah, you said Luke Raley, even Cole Youngest, as of late, I think has really come on, had some big hits. So you've had guys that you don't necessarily expect at least try to pick up some of the load that these, Cal Raleigh hasn't given you yet. And so what you're hoping for is what Cal said in that interview.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we're going to take this break, and it's kind of reset. We're going to come back, and then you hope those guys can keep the slack going, and then Cal can pick up where he left off, and then is when this offense is what we all envision.
We've got a big show actually coming your way today. No Bump, no Stacy. I'm Curtis Rogers. He's Brian Walters. We've got lots of guests on this show. Coming up at 11 a.m., a conversation with MLB Network analyst and also manager of Team USA during the World Baseball Classic, Mark DeRosa. He's got a lot to say about Cal's first half, what he saw from Cal during the WBC. That's coming your way in less than 45 minutes from now. We'll also be joined by Ryon Healy, Mariners TV analyst, at noon. We'll also dive into a conversation about the Seahawks sale, which we got some news about. So let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Front Office Sports reports that two frontrunners have emerged in the Seahawks sale, a group led by former Celtics owner Wick Grousbeck and a group led by 49ers minority owner Vinod Khosla. I knew I was going to get one of those wrong. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I think we can all now breathe a sigh of relief knowing it won't be Blazers owner Tom Dundon, because that was the guy who Jody Allen sold to in Portland. And the headlines that have come out of Portland since that sale has gone down, that was kind of jaw-dropping, seeing the cuts that they have made with the Blazers organization. Dundon not printing T-shirts for fans during the playoffs, not sending the guys on two-way deals to the road playoff games. Did you see Dundon also put his name on the Stanley Cup? Him and his 5 kids, because he owns the Carolina Hurricanes too. They just won.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. But hopefully we can avoid any situation like that with these two. But honestly, B-Walt, when I look at these two groups that are kind of out in front right now, I'm kind of leaning towards the Celtics group owned by Wick Grousbeck, and then Aditya Maitel is another guy part of that group. I don't know. When you look at just kind of the track record of where these owners might be coming from, do you lean one way or another?
I look at this. I say, is the checkbook going to be open? Is it
Right.
going to be wide open to have to, cover anything you need to improve the player's experience, anything? Because the players are driven by how well they're treated in that facility. And I go back, we talked about San Diego last year. I don't think it was an open checkbook down there. And there was, we were getting Mexican food buffet for lunch. I loved it, but it wasn't really the best performance food you can get before practice. And it was just little things like that. So as I think with the Celtics owner, he's got a track record.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown they can do it. Celtics are pretty dang good
Won
franchise.
2 titles
Yep.
while they were there. Yeah.
So I think I would lean toward that, because anything with the 49ers on it makes me back up just a little bit.
Right. Like, is he a mole? Is he a plant by the
what are you
49ers trying to get
Like
intel
Saboteur?
on the Seahawks? I don't know about that. By the way, later today at 1 o'clock, we'll be speaking with front office sports reporter Ben Horney, who has all the details on what will come next in terms of the sale.
Headline rewrites.
The Mariners close out the first half of the season with a series against the first-place Rays this weekend. What's the real headline?
Real headline, but that's an American League first place, so it's really more like a National League third place, if we're being real. The AL's so bad, B-Walt. It's so bad. But, look, the Rays, they're no joke. Junior Caminero I'm scared of that guy. That guy can hit it. I mean, he could probably hit it out of Tropicana Field, which says a lot because that's a dome stadium. He's a monster. Yandy Diaz is hitting, 326. Jonathan Randa's awesome to watch, too. Like, this Rays team is no joke, and I'm kind of thinking it's weird how last year, the final 2 series heading into the All-Star break, the Mariners got swept by the Yankees and then played another playoff team in the Tigers and swept them. I don't know if history repeats itself, B-Walt, but God, I would love more than anything to go into the All-Star break with 3 wins under your belt against a really good ball club.
That would be awesome. That would be the ideal scenario for the Mariners. But I got to ask, maybe this is a stupid question, but I'm asking anyway. I'm asking on air. Is Tropicana Field are they playing there now?
They are.
They fixed it.
They put the roof back
They
on.
fixed it.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever been there?
I have not.
Oh, my goodness.
You've been?
Oh, I've been there. I've been to a game. I actually
no.
went and I watched the Mariners play there.
Really?
A couple years ago, I think. And, it is the
Lifeless?
worst
Yeah.
stadium in baseball.
Did you see the Ray tank out in
I
center field?
did see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a few Rays swimming around, and it's a rough spot. So, if anything, if they can get at least a couple wins here in a situation like that or an atmosphere like that, pushing into the All-Star break, I think you got to feel good about yourself as a Mariner fan.
Headline rewrites.
The MLB draft is this weekend, and the Mariners select 25th in the first round. What's the real headline?
Real headline, based on the Mariners' recent track record, the draft is actually worth paying attention to, which is something that not a lot of people do with the MLB draft because you go a few years without seeing these guys. But, I mean, look, just last year, the Mariners took Cade Anderson at number 3 overall, and he is not just knocking on the door, he is ripping it off its hinges in trying to get to the big league level. I would imagine he's up within the next couple months. Ryan Sloan was taken a couple years ago. He's another guy. It is, I think, where the Mariners get their most talent from these days is from the draft and developing those guys. Pick 25, so kind of an odd spot to be in. Joe Doyle joined me on Extra Innings this week talking about who might be available at pick 25 for the M's.
There's probably 10, 12, as many as 15 names in play. I think Seattle is going to take what kind of falls in their lap at 24. This is a decent year for college pitching. I think there's going to be some options there. I think you kind of look for a guy like a Mason Edwards out of South Carolina, Taylor Rabe out of Ole Miss. Maybe you look for a guy like Cade Townsend out of Ole Miss as well. There's going to be some college pitchers that will be enticing to the Mariners.
20 rounds this weekend, B-Walt. Could you imagine if the NFL draft was 20 rounds?
I would have loved it. I might have got drafted.
Oh, no. That's right.
Just maybe would have got drafted.
I feel like once you get to about round 19 or 20, you're just throwing darts. It's like, okay, this guy played at some high school in California somewhere. I guess we'll draft him and hope to sign him. But I believe the MLB draft for years and years and years would go on until teams were just like, yeah, we're done picking.
Crazy.
Like they would go, I think Mike Piazza was taken like the 60th round or something like that. They've since trimmed it to 20, which I think is a lot more reasonable, but the MLB draft is insane.
One thing I always thought was coming out of high school, I talked to the Dodgers. They're like, hey, if we draft you, we're going to send you to community college for a couple years.
Okay.
And then we'll pick you up. I always thought that was odd. Like, can you imagine the NFL? Hey, we're going to draft you 7th round.
We're going to stash you.
It's not possible, obviously, but it's just the development of major league players and the whole farm system is just such a bizarre thing to me. Kind of a foreign, just how the development of player, how a guy is not ready to just go into the pros right away, like football. It's just interesting, and the development is such a huge part of Major League Baseball.
Coming up, like I said, Mark DeRosa coming up at 11 a.m. We'll have Ryan Healy at noon, and then some updates on the Seahawks sale coming up at 1 o'clock with Front Office Sports' Ben Horney. But up next, ESPN continues their top 10 positional ranking series. No Seahawks in the top 10 of tight ends, but will that be the case by the end of the season? He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump Stacy today on Seattle Sports.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw Wyman and Bob's latest digital exclusive first.
Cole Young. He is just turning into an absolute star.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he can generate that kind of power.
He's listed at 5'10", 180.
Yeah.
And he's got big pop. Just tremendous. And playing great defense. He might be your best overall player right now in terms of the way he's functioning.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and know first. Seriously, what are you waiting for?
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on now through August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items. Here's a story from a real customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. When they gave her the total, she couldn't believe what it was worth. Go see what your jewelry is worth with a free consultation. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event, powered by WFC, Saturday night, August 8th. A night of professional boxing, where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, August 8th at Emerald Queen Casino. Always entertaining. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 11th and 12th. 480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars, and free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 11th and 12th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
Looking for a new Mazda? Check out Mazda of Everett during the More to Move You sales event. As the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, they have over 700 new Mazdas in stock and are known for always offering the Mazda of Everett price. Awarded Mazda's President's Award 13 years in a row and ranked among the top 20 Mazda dealers in the USA for customer service. Shop at 11409 Highway 99 in Everett or MazdaofEverett.com. Dealer awards and rankings based on Mazda USA reporting and data.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Listen every morning to Brock and Salk for Need to Know, powered by Marquee Data. Marquee IQ brings all your data together into one clear view. Stop running your business on highlights. Get the full picture. Visit datathatwins.com to learn more.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. benefits. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Riding shotgun with Brian Walters here today on Bumpin' Stacy. We're filling in for them. They'll be back Monday. But B-Walt, ESPN has been day by day releasing their top 10 rankings by position of every position in the NFL. Yesterday, the Seahawks had some big praise sent their way in the defensive tackle grouping. Leonard Williams ranked the #1 defensive tackle in the NFL. Byron Murphy was listed as the very first honorable mention, so technically 11th in their defensive tackle rankings. So 2 of the top 11 in the entire league reside on the Seahawks defensive line. Today, it's tight ends, and despite a injury-plagued season a year ago, Brock Bowers still is the #1 tight end in the NFL. He was #1 last year, aged just 23. So obviously, Clint Kubiak is going to have a lot of fun working with him in that Vegas offense this upcoming season. Trey McBride, really one of the only guys on that Cardinals roster that you kind of have to account for in every play. He comes in at #2, George Kittle 3rd. So two of the top 3 tight ends reside in your own division. Rounding out the top 10, you've got Sam Laporta, Tyler Warren of the Colts, Tucker Kraft of the Packers, Colston Loveland of the Bears, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, and then Travis Kelce at age 36, finishing out the top 10. Nowhere to be found on this list, even amongst the honorable mention or the also receiving votes, is A.J. Barner, which I think at this point in his career maybe still a little bit expected because I don't know about you, B-Walt, but it feels to me like Barner is very well known amongst Seahawks fans, but the secret about him hasn't quite yet gotten out across the league.
No, this is exactly what I'd expect. Maybe I expect honorable mention. I think just the way he was top 10 in the league in touchdowns last year from tight ends and seemed to be that red zone threat. But this is the year that I picked A.J. Barner to have his real breakout season. And I think last year you could almost argue it was a little bit of a breakout season. The way he came on, he made some big-time plays and big-time moments, including the touchdown in the Super Bowl, which was a pretty big play. But I just he's not going to get the love until he gets more targets, a little more off the stat. On the stat sheet a little bit, but when you put him, A.J. Barner, with a guy like Brian Fleury, the new OC, the guy that coached tight ends in a place where their tight ends are pretty dang good over in San Francisco with George Kittle. I just think this is going to be a huge year for him. I'm super excited for him and the confidence I think that he has developed in himself after last year's success. And the Seahawks have all the confidence in the world with him. I mean, they wouldn't have got rid of Noah Fant beginning last season if they didn't believe what A.J. Barner could do. And talking with A.J., what was that, about a month ago, did a little interview with him, and he couldn't be more fired up, man. And he's the leader that they need in the tight end group. So I'm going to see if I'm betting anything, and you can go through all these rankings, these positions, I would bet that A.J. Barner is top 10 on this list next season if there's the same list comes out.
You're not the only one feeling the A.J. Barner hype. Ben Solak of ESPN, who was on with this show yesterday, said he thinks A.J. Barner is headed for a breakout season.
Barner is a highly, highly impactful blocker. He is a glass-eating, crunch-your-face mask, sort of a physical presence. Matters a lot in the running game. And then as we saw with Clint Kubiak, he could get some of these big, designed, explosive receptions down the field. He became more of a security blanket as the year went on. So now in the Brian Fleury offense, obviously Fleury used to be the tight ends coach with the 49ers. He watched George Kittle for a long time. I think you'll see more of the passing game get put through Barner because Fleury knows how to build a passing game around a tight end who's not a Travis Kelce, light up in the slot type, but is a George Kittle type where, hey, you're really going to crunch in the trenches, create movement in the running game, and we're going to hit you on some big play action. So I think he's going to have a bigger receiving year than he had last year, and I think there's going to be more visibility on just how good of a blocker he is and how that opens him up in the passing game.
When you look at what Brian Fleury is being tasked with this season, B-Walt, and we saw it a year ago with how much the offense looked JSN's way, will the Seahawks try to look A.J. Barner's way a little bit more, Rashid Shaheed's way a little bit more this season just to kind of ease the workload given to JSN? Or do you think this year's offense maybe is trying to replicate what last year's offense did? How do you see kind of the dispersal of targets that Sam Darnold's going to be dishing out this year?
This is a question I'm asked a lot. I was asked a lot in the offseason when it ended. JSN's getting, what do you get, like 60% of the targets? Something crazy like that.
Ridiculous.
They got to fix that. That's not going to work. And I kind of answer the same way. Like, why? Why won't that work?
It worked.
We saw it worked. And you don't think halfway through the season teams weren't trying to focus on JSN and take that away? Well, it's not that easy for teams just to take that away. And if JSN is rolling, JSN has the hot hand, you give it to him every single time you can because that's what he's proved he can do. The second teams are taking that away, however they decide, we always say, they'll double team him. Well, you can't really do that when he's moving around like he does. And some of these route concepts and getting Sam Darnold out of the pocket, it's tough to double team a guy like that. But the second team start to maybe eliminate him, then don't force it to him. You can't win every double team like that. So then you're gonna have to see some of these guys step up. But where I stand with this is if JSN can have another year like he did last year, feed him the rock as much as possible because you want the ball in your playmaker's hands. He is your best playmaker. Give it to him if defense start taking that away.
When you look at the whole tight end room that the Seahawks have, it's interesting to see Barner emerge the way that he has in his first two seasons where he's definitely on an upward trajectory. In fact, I don't know if there's a single Seahawk that has a more upward trajectory right now in their career than him because he has passed every test. He's checked every box so far, and it does kind of feel like they're giving him more and more responsibility every single season. But you look at the other big name in that tight end room, and that'd be a second-round pick from last year, Elijah Arroyo. Guy taken in the second round, B-Walt, that's no joke. That's a guy who you kind of envision as a future starter for your organization. Where do you see Elijah Arroyo's development going in year two?
I think that you're going to see a little more maturity. That's a bad word for it. A little more, I want to say discipline. How about that? And not as far as off the field like that. No.
Yeah.
But as far as on-field discipline, and I say that for some reason, one play sticks out to me about Elijah Arroyo, and I say, that was kind of a little rookie move, and it was one of the interceptions that Sam Darnold threw. Gosh, it may have been against the Rams. Most of them were against Rams, I feel like. But and it was a seam route. And what I would have loved to do is seen Elijah Arroyo at the top of this route cross the safety's face, take that pathway away from the safety that's jumped in front of it. And it's little things like that I think Elijah Arroyo is going to be so much more improved from year one to year two, helping Sam Darnold out. And when he starts to do that, then you're going to start seeing a lot of his athleticism peak and how he will be a tough matchup for DBs or linebackers, I should say, that will try to guard him, and it'll have to be a DB on him because he is fast. He can move. I remember the first time I saw him, I looked out on the practice field, and I was like, dang, who's who's this number 18 receiver?
The 18 as a tight end is
he's a big receiver.
Kind of throws me off.
But man, he moves good. And they're hey, that's the new draft pick, Elijah Roy. That's why they got him, because looks like a wide receiver, runs like a wide receiver, but is built like a tight end. And that's what I'm excited to see, what he can bring with there. And A.J. Barner's going to take a lot of that pressure off him, too, because A.J. Barner's I will compare him to George Kittle. I'll do that just as he wants to block. He's in the trenches. He wants to, shove the defender's nose into the dirt. That's what A.J. Barner wants to do. But then he has that athleticism to come out. And we've all seen him with the hurdling people. I think he kind of cut that a little bit out of his game. Maybe coaches told him not to do that. But I love seeing that, the athleticism he has. But A.J. Barner's going to do his thing. But that takes at least a little bit of because Elijah Arroyo, it's the blocking that the people kind of question a little bit. And I think with A.J. there, it'll take a little bit of that responsibility off of Elijah, where he can just go do his thing and creating a mismatch for the defense.
Coming up, we still have a lot to go. We got Mark DeRosa at 11 a.m. But up next, what's the biggest difference year over year in a title defense? We've got somebody on this show today who knows a lot about that. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and summer's here at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can check out upcoming shows like the Pop 2000 Tour with Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO on August 1st, or relive the 80s with pop sensation Taylor Dayne on September 6th. You can find tickets at snocasino.com and the full lineup, plus experience luxury with breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and play your favorite games. Elevate your next getaway. That's Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. At Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue, we've been serving the East Side for more than 24 years. We love serving our guests and creating wonderful memories. We also love serving the community, from local schools to amazing organizations like Hope Link, the American Cancer Society, Bellevue LifeSpring, and so many more. I want to thank you, our guests, for supporting Sea Star all these years, making it possible for us to serve and help those in need. Thank you. SeaStarRestaurant.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the big unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community?
Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best. Why Seattle and Seattle sports want to celebrate her. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at woiseattle.org. That's woiseattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle baseball is heating up, and so is summertime. Dave Wyman for Fast Home Services. Their HVAC department has you covered. While others book out for weeks, Fast Heating and Air is just that, fast. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to request your next-day consultation for AC, heat pumps, or other cooling services. Same week install available for a limited time. Or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Long days call for lots of golf. Hey, it's Graz here, encouraging you to book a tee time between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. at your local premier course, like Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inner Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, and Walter Hall. In Western Washington, you know you're never far from a premier course. It accommodates all skill levels, and with affordable rates, you can book a tee time and truly enjoy the summer. If you're not in the mood for walking, play Top Tracer at the range at Inner Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park. Play the courses. Play Premier.
Looking for a new Mazda? Check out Mazda of Everett during the More to Move You sales event. As the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, they have over 700 new Mazdas in stock and are known for always offering the Mazda of Everett price. Awarded Mazda's President's Award 13 years in a row and ranked among the top 20 Mazda dealers in the USA for customer service. Shop at 11409 Highway 99 in Everett or MazdaofEverett.com. Dealer awards and rankings based on Mazda USA reporting and data.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Yay to Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Today's pitching matchup brought to you by Eastside Exterminators. Luis Castillo squaring off against Tampa Bay All-Star Nick Martinez. Game gets going at 4:10 p.m. today, later on Seattle Sports. What is the biggest difference year over year in a Super Bowl title defense? Luckily, we have somebody here that knows a thing or two about it. Matt Nelson behind the board. Matt, your experience on the 2013 Seahawks. What position did you play?
So I was the left quarterback. I was just off screen, so you didn't see me a ton, but I was there.
Very
I was
underrated
there. Position. Yeah. I was there coaching up Sam, showing him how to throw the ball to the correct player.
Sam Darnold wasn't the quarterback then.
No, I know. I was on a phone call with him during the games because I knew he was going to come to Seattle eventually. Saying this is what you should do in this sitch.
Got it. Luckily, in addition to Matt Nelson, member of the 2013 Super Bowl champion Seahawks, we have another one, Brian Walters, here in studio with us today. B-Walt, just tell us about some of your memories playing with Matt, but also I want to know, what is the biggest difference for those of us who have never had the pressure of trying to repeat? What is the biggest difference or differences that you noticed year over year about just maybe blocking out the noise, or just, what the focus becomes for that team that's trying to defend the title?
Well, first off, I was just disappointed Matt never got on the field. That was he earned it every single week, every day. He earned his spot, and he deserved a chance to get out there and take a snap.
I'm glad someone noticed.
I was fighting for you out there, Matt.
Do you finally feel noticed, Matt?
I feel so vindicated in this moment. I never got my Rudy moment, and it's a real shame.
Did you march into Pete Carroll's office and bang your fist on his desk?
Oh, every single week.
Yeah.
He had to buy a new desk.
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking, Matt.
He had to buy a new desk constantly. I just kept breaking him out of anger.
That left quarterback.
It's an important position that doesn't get talked about.
That's right.
It's a weird thing in the NFL when you talk about I don't know, defending your title or going on back-to-back title runs. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of guys aren't going to be coming back. I shouldn't say a lot, but the team's completely somewhat different, I should say. And so going into every single year, it felt like a whole new different. It's not like in high school where you have your crew, right? And,
right.
Here we go. We got to do this again. Or even
season,
college.
baby.
Yeah. Let's do this again. Let's run it back. It is that to an extent, but it's not, because guys got their paydays. They went somewhere else. You brought new guys in who are trying to be part of a Super Bowl team, and everyone's fighting for that. So it's a little bit different in the NFL. But what I would say is a common thing about our team and our team in 2013 going into 2014 season and trying to repeat, and I use this term in the best way and in a positive way, we were greedy.
Mm-hmm.
We were greedy. We wanted it again. And that was the thought you got. It wasn't like, all right, we had done it. This is great, perfect. But the team was so young. Guys still fighting for those first contracts. And they just, no matter what we did, always wanted more. Always wanted it again. Like the Super Bowl in 2013 was over, and it was like, dang, the season's over. Like, we wanted another game.
Yeah.
And so that was the difference. So you got to 2014, a lot of those guys, including myself, you just wanted another one. You wanted to taste that again. And that's what I would say. This team, being around them in this offseason, the approach is it's a new season. It's different. This is throw that one out.
Right.
Like, throw that one out.
Well, because I was going to ask you, like, do you ever allow yourself maybe in the lead up to a season where you've got another chance to win a Super Bowl? Do you ever kind of like, man, it was so much fun last year. Like, let's go do it again. Or do you have to just kind of approach it like last year's last year? That has no bearing on what we do this year.
I think what you do is, you're proud that you won. You're proud you got a Super Bowl, but you do realize that every single year there is a Super Bowl champion.
Right.
But one thing you have to look at is not every single year is there a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. And that's rare. Yeah. That's greatness. Like, that's a whole different level. That's only happened
once since the 90s.
Once since, the
Chiefs. Or twice since the
Patriots
90s.
did it, right?
Patriots did it in 03, 04, and then the Chiefs did it a couple years ago.
So you're talking only two other teams since 2000s and in this century have done it. Like, you're talking, you can be talked about with some of the greatest teams and some of the greatest runs. So that would be kind of the motivation I would play off of too for some of these guys. Like, we can be talked about with these Tom Brady Patriots, with these Patrick Mahomes Chiefs that were talked about as being that dynasty for 5 years. So get yourself in that category. I think that would be the biggest motivation for me, just knowing that, all right, yeah, you won a Super Bowl, great, but it happens every year to one team.
Do those benchmarks during a season where you are the benchmarks that you experience in your first championship season in 2013, like winning the division, winning the NFC Championship, and then eventually winning the Super Bowl in 2013, those benchmarks leading up to the Super Bowl in 2014, did it have the same feel as it did the year prior? Like when you guys won the division, obviously that NFC Championship game in 2014 was insane, the comeback against the Packers, which I imagine probably played into the emotion of the day, but did, say, winning 13 games that year, or I think it was 12 games that year, and winning the division, did it have kind of the same, like, all right, we did it? Or is it just kind of like, all right, like, this was our expectation, like, we can't really let this kind of be something that, we're going to celebrate too much because this isn't our end goal in the year?
No, I actually think they're going back there completely different. And that was being that in 2013, you'd never been there before. And so every single milestone, every single win in the playoffs, every time you did that, it was a celebration. All right, on to our next. But then the next year after that, in 2014 season and 2015, whatever, I always get confused, right? Because it was like, no, we have to get back to where we were. And so when you won your first playoff game, all right, that was expected of us. Let's go on to the next. And then I'd still say if we didn't win the Super Bowl the year before, I don't think we win that NFC Championship game the year after. We don't come back down 16-3 or whatever it was against the Packers. And it was because we expected to win that. We knew we're not going to lose this game. And, a little onside kick helped a lot. But it's just the mindset on the sideline was even down 16 to. Was it 16 to 3?
16-0.
16-0. Yeah. Okay. It was down 16-0. The mindset was there was no, like, I can't stress this enough. Like, there was never a doubt because we had done it already and we expected ourselves to go back. And so everyone just kind of was like, no, we'll figure this out. We'll get it done. And we did. And so that's kind of, I think, where experience plays. And now the Seahawks this season have that experience. They've been through that. They've been through some of these tough moments, like the NFC Championship game against the Rams. You know, how fun was that this year? How fun was that game? But they've been through that. They know in those tight moments what it takes to get through it, and they overcame last year. They did it, and now this year, I think it just makes it. I shouldn't say easier. I think that's a bad word to say, but it just makes it a little more familiar.
Coming up next, we visit with MLB Network analyst and also Team USA World Baseball Classic manager Mark DeRosa, who has had a very interesting vantage point to Cal Raleigh's entire 2026 season. We got to ask him about that. That's coming your way next. Here on Bump and Stacy, Curtis Rogers and Brian Walters filling in on Seattle Sports.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw Wyman and Bob's latest digital exclusive first.
Cole Young. He is just turning into an absolute star.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he can generate that kind of power.
He's
5'10".
He's listed at 5'10", 180.
Yeah.
And he's got big pop. Just tremendous. And playing great defense. He might be your best overall player right now in terms of the way he's functioning.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and know first. Seriously, what are you waiting for? This is a test of your emergency alert system.
The civil authorities have issued a required monthly test for Benton, WA, Franklin, WA, and all of Washington beginning at 10:50 a.m. and ending at 11:50 a.m. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency alert system in Washington State issued by the Washington State Emergency Operations Center. In the event of an emergency, this system would bring you important information. The following tones will conclude this test from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We share our used cars. So our used cars are open trade between any store. So the sales managers don't have a problem in saying, yes, that car's available, and then that person from Seattle can come to Kirkland, pick the car up and sell it. It's what's best for the customer at the end of the day.
The LJ way.
If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's figure out how to get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact. When you're all one team and you've got a great relationship, the other team comes over and helps that team, and then you as the customer don't see any difference in that experience. You're still getting the same service that you want and expect.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Pests and poor insulation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated installation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit eastsideexterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Stay cool this summer and save big. Lake Washington Windows and Doors delivers the quality, comfort, and energy-saving performance you deserve. During July, buy 3 windows or doors and get 1 free. Plus, make no payments for 12 months. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
World Cup action later today. Spain takes on Belgium. Kickoff is at noon. Also, Mariners begin their final series of the season's first half. A 4:10 p.m. first pitch today against the Tampa Bay Rays. Luis Castillo, the starting pitcher in that one.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
Joining us now, it is Mark DeRosa, MLB Network analyst. And by the way, you can catch Mark this weekend doing draft coverage for MLB Network, which begins at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Mark, really appreciate you joining us. How's it going today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. And, Mark, this Mariners team is playing below expectations. I think it's very safe to say that. Sitting a game below 500, heading into the final series of the first half of the season. D-Ro, I want to know from you, has the Mariners' start to the season maybe made you kind of reassess the ceiling of this team as they have not really played to where we thought they'd be at this point?
I would say no, and there's probably a couple of reasons why I think that. I think in the AL West they have the deepest and most talented roster, and I think eventually over the course of 162 that usually wins the day. I think they have one of the best rotations in the American League. I know it hasn't gone according to plan for Kirby and Wu. Logan Gilbert's been on a heater recently. Emerson Hancock's been a godsend for you guys from start to finish. Bryce Miller was throwing the heck out of the ball until recently down in Miami, but Miami seems to be a wagon right now. I'd say this. I'm going to trust the back of the baseball card for a lot of those guys, the Josh Naylors of the world, the J.P. Crawfords of the world, Cal Raleigh certainly. And I just think over 162, they will find a way to get it done because I think the American League lends itself to you kind of sneaking in. There's a lot of teams that are really kind of just hovering that 500 mark.
Yeah, when you look at the entirety of the American League, I've never seen an entire league this down the way it is in the AL. The Rays are comfortably ahead of just about everybody in the AL, but you look at their run differential, it's not great. The Yankees got off to a hot start. They have fallen back. Is there any team right now that you look at in the AL and feel like I have the utmost confidence that they will be there in October?
Yeah, I would say Tampa. Right? This is a massive get right for Seattle kind of heading into the All-Star break. You don't want to take a tour of Florida and lose 6 in a row and get swept by the Marlins, get swept by the Rays, and go into the All-Star break with kind of your tail between your legs. So this is a tough 180 to turnaround series for them that they're going to have to play against. Tampa's been the best team in the American League for the better part of the first half. I think they're undersold because we think, they're an analytical darling and they're the plucky little Rays, and that's how do they find ways to win? But I think if you look at them on paper, I say this on the show all the time, I feel like Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, and Junior Caminero could kind of hit 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4 in a lot of orders in Major League Baseball. So they have star power offensively. They always find a way to pitch. So, yeah, it's a big series for Seattle to feel good heading into the break.
Absolutely. And you look at the Mariners, and one of the biggest things going on with them is the rotation. They have 6 guys who are able to throw deep into ball games. Obviously, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, and Emerson Hancock have been fantastic this year. Luis Castillo got off to such a slow start. He has bounced back, though, has looked pretty good over his last few starts. What do you make of this rotation and the depth of starting pitching? Can it continue the way it has, or are they going to have to make a decision fairly soon on potentially going with 5 moving forward?
Yeah, I think it usually writes itself on its own. I certainly didn't love the whole piggyback deal. You could tell Luis Castillo wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm sure Bryce Miller wouldn't say it out loud, but I'm sure he wasn't a huge fan of it. But Emerson Hancock kind of forced their hand. He was just throwing the heck out of the ball. So it eventually writes itself. We look at teams, the Yankees starting rotation is all nicked up. You look at the White Sox, it's been a great story, but can their starters, they're going to have to go out and do multiple things at the deadline if they feel like they're going to stay in this. The American League is littered with teams that are starving for starting pitching, and Seattle has it in. I think it writes itself. I think at the end of 162, it usually wins the day, and I would expect Seattle to. I would be shocked if Seattle doesn't win this division.
When you look at the American League West, and you mentioned that you'd be shocked if they don't win the division, I think everybody kind of shares that opinion, even though it has not gone to plan this year. When you look at the division, is there any team at all that you think could give them a threat here in the season's second half, or is it just going to be maybe largely dependent on who does the most at the deadline? How do you see everything kind of shaken out in the West?
Yeah. I would say Houston's been so interesting to me because outside of Hunter Brown, and he went down for a little bit, it's like, how are they going to get through this pitching-wise? Jordan has covered up a ton of flaws with the Astros, and then you say to yourself, okay, are they a legitimate threat to Seattle? And I have to say the answer would be yes. Heading into the All-Star break right now, they seem to be, finding ways to win ball games. Again, I always go back to the regular season, and the 162 usually rights the ship for a lot of people and will expose all your flaws and your strengths. Texas scares you because of their starting rotation with Eovaldi and DeGrom and Mackenzie Gore. They could get on a run, but they've kind of underachieved from an offensive standpoint as well. So I would just say stay the course. I know that's kind of a hack take, but I just think if I'm a veteran in that Seattle clubhouse, or if I'm Dan Wilson, Bobby Cox always used to do this with the Atlanta Braves when I was a young player. He'd give us 40, 50 games to kind of get our feet set, and then he would come in and be like, okay, I gave you, 40, 50 games to get loose. The names on the back of the jersey say it's time to go now. And that was usually his way of saying the teams we're supposed to lean on, we need to lean on and then play 500 ball against teams that are good. And we'll find ourselves winning this division. I feel like Seattle's kind of – they show flashes. I think from an offensive standpoint, it's like Cal has struggled so mightily. And you're looking at guys like Randy Arozarena has been one of your best offensive weapons. I enjoy Cole Young. I think he stepped up and had some moments for you. So it's just got to be all collective. Cal's got to get going. JP's got to get going. J-Rod usually has an explosive second half. So I would just stay the course.
Joined by Mark DeRosa, MLB Network analyst here on Seattle Sports. And D-Ro, you bring up Cal's struggles, and you have a very unique perspective of anybody that we've talked to this season because you saw him at the very outset of the year in the World Baseball Classic. You were a skipper. Did you notice anything during the tournament with Cal's swing that jumped out to you that was maybe cause for concern?
Yeah. I mean, he was grinding. He was hooking a lot of balls, front shoulder, rolling over the top hands, doing some things that you would expect him to be able to get out of quicker than maybe he's been able to get out of it. So, yes, there were moments throughout that tournament where, listen, he had such a monster season last year, and that is such a blast burst of a tournament, 7-8 games. It's like whoever's swinging the bat at that moment has to play. I would have loved for Cal to have been in there for the championship game. But you turn around, you see Will Smith, and he's swinging the bat, and you can see Cal wanting to do some extra work. When we were getting ready, when we were done with practice, he was grabbing the Brian McCanns of the world and saying, hey, come here, let's go into the cage and let's right the ship. But, yeah, you definitely saw him kind of rolling the ball over a little bit more than I was accustomed to seeing. But then you dive into the analytics of what made him so successful last year, and he's a guy who gets the ball in the air pull side from both sides of the plate. So it's the game's brutal, right? I don't think Cal's as good as the 65 homer guy he was last year, and he's certainly not as bad as he's been going this year. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, but he needs to be kind of that stabilizing presence and let Arozarena be the wild horse. Let J-Rod be the wild horse. He needs to be that guy for them that they lean on, and he's kind of our franchise pillar while the other guys get to kind of be a little crazy.
We heard yesterday from Mariners bench coach Manny Acta on MLB Network say that he thought the catch-up work Cal was trying to do after the WBC may have aggravated the oblique injury. My question to you is, do you think the WBC is best played in the springtime during spring training, or do you think it would be better for the players if they could somehow find a way to move it maybe to in-season, maybe take a couple weeks off during the All-Star break? Do you think it's best played in the springtime?
No, I mean, truth be told, and I think everybody that has been around the game, the best time to do it would be right in the middle of the season. The amount of pitching restrictions we are dealing with, I mean, I was taking grenades the entire tournament, like with pitching decisions. A lot, those decisions are not mine. I mean, you got to go with the guys that are scheduled to pitch that day. They got to get certain amounts of work in. I mean, certainly there's moments where you want to do things a little bit differently. I think every player would appreciate it being moved to the middle of the season. I don't think pitchers would be as difficult to get. I think organizations would allow pitchers to do it more because they'd be built up. I think offensively, and you know this, you're either hot or cold in spring training. You either hit 450 or you hit 150. There's kind of no guy sitting there, I hit 250 with a bomb in spring training. It's either I can't get out or I'm nervous I'm never going to get a hit again and I'm on the backfields grinding. So that's kind of the rub of the tournament. There's no excuses, but yeah, it would be better served for everybody involved if it was moved. That being said, that tournament has got such legs on it. 2023, when I jumped in on that thing, it started to just like you could feel it, the buzz, and then culminating with Ohtani and Trout, and then leading into the 26. My phone calls to these players was a hell of a lot different than when I was calling them in 23. There, guys wanted to do it.
Yeah, you mentioned just kind of the juggling act you had to do in order to kind of satisfy everybody, and then also make sure that your team was best set up to win. What was that like? The urgency to win, making sure that players get their work in, and then also kind of respecting the wishes of each big league team. I imagine that is a scenario unlike any manager in any level of baseball has ever had to deal with, because it felt like, at least watching from the outside, that your team and really every team was being pulled in all sorts of directions, just trying to construct a lineup every day.
Yeah. I'm so blessed and honored to be able to do it and be around those guys, and some of the greatest experience of my life are being in that dugout, going to battle with those guys. Yeah, that being said, do you think I wanted to throw Tarek Skubal against Great Britain? Or do you think I wanted to pitch him in a championship game? I mean, you honor the parent clubs, and at the end of the day, for them to give us those guys is super special, but there is a build-up to the season. I think the biggest misnomer with this thing, in the United States, the U.S.-born player, the most important thing for these guys is winning a World Series. I think if you ask the Latin American player, they're getting a chance to come to our soil, play with their countrymen, hear their national anthem. It's super important to them, and maybe there's a little differing of like, am I willing to do a little bit more to put it over the top? I choose to love what we were able to accomplish. I choose to love the fact that those guys were willing to put their heart on the line and get out there with us and bust their tail. But yes, there's moments throughout the tournament where you have to honor their ramp up to the season, what their organization wants that their ramp up to look like. So, for instance, if the tournament calls for, an 80 pitch limit, well, the parent club might be saying we're not comfortable with him going more than 60. So you're making moves based on that, and then you're taking grenades. Why are you taking this guy out? Why are you putting this guy in? And there's heat in the top seat. I'll eat it.
Mark DeRosa, I got one last one for you, D-Row. Sticking with the WBC, it was a situation that we talked a lot about here in Seattle because it was dealing with a couple of Mariners players, and that's Cal and that's Randy Rosarena. I just want to know from you, was Cal at all distracted by that situation during the tournament? How did your clubhouse handle all that?
No one knew it was coming, and you know what? I think if go back and do it again, I think Cal would have gave him knocks. I think it was one of those moments where like juices were flowing, we were going to battle, we wanted to win the thing, and I don't think there was a big deal behind it. I think it was over in 2 seconds. The 3 years prior, Will Smith did the same thing. Same exact thing. So I get it. Stuff gets overblown. I didn't think anything of it.
Well, he is MLB Network analyst Mark DeRosa. You can watch D-Row on MLB Network's coverage of the MLB draft starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. D-Row, really appreciate you stopping by, giving us all this great insight, and we'll have to do it again another time this season.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
We got B-Walt, Brian Walters filling in for Bump today on 4 down territory. Yesterday, B-Walt, you're not Bump. You don't look anything like Bump. Yesterday on the Dan Patrick Show, Mike Macdonald had this to say about analytics, saying we don't want to be scared of them.
It always seemed that it was just made sense. It's like, why wouldn't we use the best information out there? You don't have to do it, but why would you be scared about things that are going to possibly help you? So why wouldn't you just lean into it?
So, B-Walt, how often did you as a player or your teammates look at those numbers when prepping for an opponent?
Well, all the time, every day. All day, every day, in all of our meetings. At least you find out what coverages and what percentage of the time this team is going to play this coverages on what down and what distance. And it's just information that you have. It doesn't necessarily mean you're robotic and you're going to stick to it. You're still out there in the heat of the fight, and you're reading a defense and you're trying to figure out, well, what's my conversion if they go cover 2? Where am I going if versus cover 3? That kind of thing. But at least you have a little advantage. You know which way to lean, maybe which way to look first. And that's from a wide receiver's perspective. But I agree with Coach Macdonald 100% that information is good. All information can help you in some way. Whether you use it or not, it's at least information in your head to use. And so analytics, I think is a good thing for the sport. Is it the one-all be-all? Absolutely not. Coaches have to make decisions based on the heat of the moment, crunch time, what's the flow of the game, things like that as well. But the information is good information, and I love that Coach Macdonald uses it.
Second down. Another thing we learned from Mike Macdonald in his interview yesterday with Dan Patrick is that he tries to get home before 9 p.m. most nights, which I think a lot of coaches, a lot of players, that might be a rarity, at least in old school NFL. So, B-Walt, which teammate or coach of yours would stay at the VMAC the latest?
Oh, man. This is an easy answer to me. And I'm not going head coach. I'm not going all the coordinators. I'm going to all the quality control coaches, man. Like, they were there till the wee hours of the night. Some of them had cots. Some of them had little cots that they pulled out under their desk, and they'd sleep there. But here's the thing. The work pays off for them. I mean, guys that were quality control back in 2013 for us, Dave Canales. He was our offensive quality control assistant quarterbacks coach. He's a head coach of the Carolina Panthers right now. Robert Saleh, he was a defensive quality control. He is a head coach of the Tennessee Titans right now. And it's just, you can continue down this list of Nick Sorensen, JG. They're all special teams coaches. Sorensen is with the Cowboys. The Jaguars, I got guys there that slept. I remember them too. They slept in their office. So we called him Rudy. It's Mike Rudenberg. He's the defense coordinator for the Browns. So it all pays off. But those are the guys trying to make a name for themselves in this league. And the coaches are the ones that are dissecting everything. And they're putting in the most work. Players, we just are told kind of what to do with them and what to look for.
Third down. All right, B-Walt, I don't know if you've heard about this, but the Mariners are actually holding an alumni home run derby in August following a home game. Which got me thinking, which of your former teammates, or yourself, you can always pick yourself here, would do best in a Seahawks alumni football skills competition?
I'll just exclude myself because I'd obviously win it. It's just, there's no question about that.
Right. Who's coming in second place?
But who's going to be second place? Now, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of guys that are still staying athletic. Well, the person you have to go to and right away is Bobby Wagner. He's still playing.
That's true.
That's an easy one. I mean, he would crush whatever drills he's doing because he's still trying to become the NFL's leading tackler in all NFL history, which is pretty remarkable. So I'd go Bobby 100%. He would crush his drills. You know who else might be okay because I know he plays basketball a lot is Doug Baldwin.
Okay,
Doug Baldwin's around.
He seems to be in really good shape.
He's playing basketball a lot, so he might be able to run a route or two here and there, I'm sure. At least get through the drill, so he could hold the zone. Other than that, I mean, Russ is only out for 1 year, so maybe Russ can sling the ball a little bit for his drills, quarterback.
He still had the deep ball last year.
Still had the deep ball. Still throw that thing to the sky. Yeah. But I would hands down, second place is Bobby Wagner. First place is me.
Fourth down. We have heard a lot of whining from the Rams about the Seahawks stealing home field on that Thursday night win. So, could the Seahawks have still made it to the Super Bowl last year without winning the division?
It's funny. I was pretty set on the fact that Rashid Shaheed's punt return is what got the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. in that game. It kind of sparked the comeback and sparked them to make that big run at the end of the season. And then, I mean, they obviously didn't lose from that point on. And I think I'm kind of kicking back on that a little bit now. When I kind of, you look at it, the Seahawks in the last 2 seasons are 15-2 on the road.
That's insane.
It's incredible.
That's
and
crazy.
8-1 last year on the road. So home field advantage in the playoffs, yes, huge. You love it. But when you look at what this team has done on the road, it's hard to go against them still doing what they did at home. So, this team going on the road, I still like them. I still, my money would be on them. Yes, it's a lot harder. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know if you're going to go play in the cold, whatever it is. But, man, 8-1 last season on the road, 15-2 in the last 2 seasons, they could still definitely have made it to the Super Bowl.
Have you ever pushed back against something popular? One World Cup fan has, and we will tell you what it is in the timeline next. I'm Curtis Rogers. He's Brian Walters. We're filling in for Bump Stacy today on Seattle Sports.
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward every morning at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
The offensive coaching staff, how are they unique?
A tremendous diversity of skill sets and backgrounds. Fleury in particular, 17 years on the defensive side of the ball.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items. Here's a story from a real customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. When they gave her the total, she couldn't believe what it was worth. Go see what your jewelry is worth with a free consultation. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy. Change wisely.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Explore the American Supercar and British Motorcycle exhibits at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Coming up in July, First Responders Appreciation Day, drive-in movie night, cars and coffee, cruise-in, and more. Dates and tickets at americascarmuseum.org.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars, a sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Sparta's Pizza reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Sparta's Pizza and Spaghetti House, serving the best pizza in the universe for over 40 years. Come visit them in Linwood, Bothell, Mill Creek, or online at spartaspizza.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
It's summertime and the living is easy. If you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio listening to the game and enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. Dave Wyman here, and I have just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final project. I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They're a local company right here in Bothell, down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on our local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. Use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
Go to HarleyExteriors.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is the Timeline where we take a look at some of the biggest stories trending on social media. And one of the lasting sights, I think, of this World Cup has been the celebration done by the Norwegian national team and also their fans after each win, where they do a rowing celebration. And it has caught social media by storm. You see entire stadiums doing it. You see people who aren't even Norwegian fans doing the rowing celebration. I imagine the Minnesota Vikings will probably adopt something like this for their upcoming season. Well, one supporter of the Norwegian national team, this fellow, his name is Emil Lappin, he went viral in addition to the rowing celebration for not joining in on the rowing. It was an odd sight. You see all these people rocking back and forth, except for one guy, one courageous Norwegian fan, and people are like, what the heck, dude? Everybody else is celebrating. Why aren't you joining in? He explained to London's Sky News why he chose to sit still and not join in.
First of all, I just find it really stupid. That's the thing I thought when they came up with it, that it was stupid and annoying, and I didn't want to do it. And then it copies a lot of what Iceland were doing, and it's factually wrong. They didn't row, they sailed over the Atlantic.
So he's got a bone to pick with how historically accurate the celebration is. He says he's not doing it because that's more of what Iceland does, not us in Norway. We did not row across the Atlantic. We sailed. And there's really nothing you can do with sailing. You just let the wind take you. There's no physical act of anything with a sail. He also says no matter how far the Norwegian team goes, which they're in the round of 8, their next win would put them in the semifinals. He's not doing it.
I will be supporting them comfortably from my chair at home.
No rowing whatsoever?
Not rowing anywhere.
Okay. What if they were to win, say, and get further on, semi-final, final, you still wouldn't join in the fun?
They can win whatever they want. I will not row.
This man is unconvinced, B-Walt. He's not joining in.
But he's at home.
Right. He was at Gillette Stadium, Boston Stadium, whatever they call it, because of the World Cup. He was at Gillette Stadium. Now he's back home.
Okay.
But he is not joining in on it. Is he being a stick in the mud, or do you respect his commitment to historical accuracy?
I do not respect his commitment to historical accuracy.
Okay.
No matter what. When a whole fan group is involved and into something, you can just do it. I mean, it's fun, right? It's sports. All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you always do the wave when they do the wave in the stadium? No, you don't. How come?
Okay, so I say no. I will do it if my girls are with me because they do it and they want to see Dad having fun with them too. So then I do join in a little bit. But if I'm by myself at a game, no way.
You're just remaining in your seat where everyone's waving their hands.
Exactly.
But more importantly, the fact that he was asked, are you going to do it at home? No one does the wave at home when it's going around the stadium. Like, what? That's a weird question. It'd be really weird if he was in his chair rowing.
That's a fair point.
At
now,
home watching this game.
I'm kind of surprised that the Ivy Leaguer in you does not respect the commitment to historical accuracy, where, like...
You're telling me they don't have oars in their boats?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Just in case the sails weren't...
To get to the dock
working.
or whatever. You're not going to sail straight to the dock, right? You got to have some kind of rowing. Or what about... I'm sure there's some historical accuracy that they had rows or they had oars that they could row of this boat. Yeah, I know when they're in the Atlantic, they're probably sailing using the wind. Great, good. But I don't think it's all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just my thoughts. There was no motors.
I would definitely join in on the Norway rowing celebration if I ever found myself.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
It looks like a lot of fun. The players are doing it.
Yeah.
This guy, that's a weird hill to die on.
It is.
Especially like with his team having success to the levels that they've never had as a country before. Like, allow yourself to have fun. Buddy.
Yeah, just go row.
Our next story in the timeline. Next week, actually Monday, is going to be the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia. And the field, I believe, is fully set. Kyle Schwarber was the last name added to the field. Bryce Harper will be doing it. So a couple of Phillies will be doing it in their hometown. Now, Bryce Harper has always been a guy that's kind of thought outside the box in terms of what he wants to see in the game. He's got a wild idea for the Home Run Derby. Stick with me now. He wants every participant to be allowed to use an aluminum bat on their final swings of each round.
What?
How awesome would this be?
I mean,
we could see a 600-foot home run.
You could, but you'd also see a kid in the field.
True. Think of 10-year-old Johnny.
Guys out there having fun on the field, fielding the pop-ups and
you'd
stuff.
Have to clear. You'd have to clear out the shaggers at that point.
You have to clear everyone out.
Yeah.
But even the fans in right field and left field, and those would be line drive coming off the bat at 120, 130.
Exit velocity would be well north of 120.
Yeah.
It would be crazy.
Into the stands. I just think it's dangerous. Now, don't get me wrong, it'd be fun to watch. I would love to see someone take, if it was at T-Mobile, some righty, powerful, hit it out of the park at T-Mobile, would be done.
In Philadelphia, there's no, like, landmark in their outfield where it's like, oh, man, like in San Francisco, he put it in the water.
Right, yeah.
Here in T-Mobile, it's like, oh, he hit it out of the stadium to left field.
Yeah.
There's nothing really like that in Philadelphia, so I don't know, like, how, like, gargantuan some of these home runs would be, but still, an aluminum bat, you put that in the hands of Bryce Harper. Have you seen that video of Bryce Harper when he's in high school, probably like 16 or 17? He's swinging an aluminum bat. He hits the back wall of Tropicana Field where the Mariners are playing tonight, and like you can't really see the ball. It kind of disappears, but then you just hear this thud off the back wall of Tropicana Field. Sounds like glasses shattering. That's 16-year-old Bryce Harper. This is like 34-year-old Bryce Harper. I imagine that would be quite the sight on Monday. I hope Major League Baseball makes it happen. I want to see it. Our next story in the timeline. Now, Rams fans, they think that, they've got something great going on. Sure, whatever. But this giveaway that they're doing and the game that they've chosen, it feels kind of sad. So in week 6 of this year, they have a home game against the Cardinals. They are doing a giveaway of 60,000 replica Super Bowl rings from their 2021 title team. It's the 5-year anniversary of that Super Bowl team. But why would they choose a home game against the Cardinals? Well, Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio says they have chosen that game because it is the home game that will have the least amount of visiting fans in attendance at SoFi Stadium. That stadium routinely gets ran over by opposing fans, and the Cardinals, they don't have a huge fan base that travels. So I can understand it, but for a team as good as the Rams, still worrying about your stadium getting taken over by opposing fans, that's a bad spot to be in.
Yeah. No, I get it though. I get it. You don't want opposing fans getting your replica Super Bowl ring. Yeah, I understand. And no one what fans from Arizona? When is this game getting played anyway?
Week 6.
Week 6. No one from Arizona is trying to travel to. Like, their weather is good in Arizona at this point.
Right.
So no one's leaving Arizona.
Well, you need to go to L.A.
Everyone else during the season goes, oh, L.A., we're circling that game.
There.
Let's go south. Let's go get some good weather. So I get it. I understand the reasoning. I understand the thought. It's probably a little extreme, but still, I can't say they're wrong. That's for sure.
Let's get to the IRG injury report, which is brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Julio Rodriguez is still dealing with concussion symptoms. He is unlikely to be activated off the 7-day IL at any point in this weekend series against the Rays. Hoping to see him back here in Seattle once the All-Star break has concluded. Up next, my guy B-Walt, he's got a bone to pick about playing surfaces in the NFL. We talk about that next. We're filling in for Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And our guest, Dr. Andrew Gomez, sports medicine physician at Providence in Everett.
Dr. Gomez, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty well. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Tell us about AC joint separations in the shoulder.
So the AC joint, it's the small joint at the top of the shoulder. It's where the clavicle or the collarbone meets a bony prominence of the scapula called the acromion, and it's got a number of ligaments that stabilize it. And in terms of the separations, there's a number of different flavors of it. There's grades 1 through 6, and typically what's most common is a grade 1, 2, and 3. Grades 1s and 2s are typically managed conservatively. Grade 3, it's controversial. Some of them go to the orthopedic surgeon. Some of them can be managed conservatively. Grades higher than that, 4, 5, and 6, it's really characterized by the displacement of the clavicle in terms of the displaced posteriorly. Is it displaced inferiorly, or does it go up? And essentially, it's a sprain. It's a ligamentous injury, and most of them, like I said earlier, grades 1s and 2s, always managed conservatively. Typically, we'll put an athlete or a patient in a sling for 3 to 5 days, typically for comfort. And after that, it's early range of motion. And typically, we can see athletes get full range of motion within about 6 weeks and complete function of the shoulder by about 12 weeks post-injury.
Perfect. So typically it's a conservative treatment. It's biology. It takes time, but usually about somewhere between, you're talking 8 to 10, 12 weeks, players return to function.
Correct. Absolutely.
Excellent. If you want more information on sports injuries, you can contact Dr. Gomez at providence.org. That's providence.org.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. Maybe the night threw you a curveball, an officer made an error, or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike, and you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the ninth. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net.
Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know there is hope. After only 3 weeks of treatment, 86% of patients report a reduction in symptoms. For Melissa, treatment gave her confidence.
Before I found Northwest Ketamine Clinics, I was hopeless. I have done individual therapy on and off since I was 16. When I called Northwest Ketamine Clinics, it was immediately like, this is what we do, this is why it's safe. 2 months after I started ketamine, I just got a wild hair and was like, I'm gonna do jujitsu. My other friends are just really glad that I found something that works.
Everyone's path to healing is different. Schedule a free consultation today to find out if ketamine therapy is right for you. They have immediate availability, so you can get started this week. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Let's go around the diamond. The Mariners start their first series of the season, their final series, not their first series. They start their final series of the season's first half against the first place Rays. Pregame starts at 3 p.m. today. First pitch is at 4:10 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Curtis Rogers and Brian Walters here filling in for Bump and Stacy today. And B-Walt, a big topic in the NFL that has stemmed from the World Cup is seeing all these beautiful playing surfaces in every single NFL stadium that's been used, and especially the one here at Lumen Field, which was immaculate. The way that they were able to manicure that grass. As a dad, I respected the way that they were able to mow that thing. It was incredible. But a lot of NFL players have been kind of bemoaning the fact that why does FIFA get all of this great playing surface that their players are playing on, and why will most of these stadiums then revert back to turf starting with week 1 of the preseason? When you look at the arguments being made for grass and for turf, you and I, we were having a conversation about this in the break a little bit ago. It feels, I think to a lot of the players, it feels like a black and white issue, but there's a lot more to it than just, we're going to save money here or there and not have to, keep up the lawn deep into the season.
This issue drives me crazy. It really does. And I will start by saying this. I'm going to start by saying My favorite field to play on, and this goes against my point, by the way, but I'm just going to start with it. Favorite field to play on was at Arizona, right? The Arizona, the grass, they roll it out into the sun. It's perfect grass. They roll it back in, and it is pristine. It's perfect, and it is nice.
Every single week?
Really good every single week. But that's not realistic at all. That not every place is Arizona. You don't have the sun like Arizona. I mean, I could just go on and on about this. It is just so, it drives me crazy. I played in San Diego for 2 seasons, and the grass down there goes dormant. It goes dormant in like November. And so they spray paint the field green so it looks like it's good grass, but it was playing on dirt. And you can't grow grass unless you're going to like overseed with some, winter grass you could do, but then it's not rooted. You're going to be losing your footing, and it's most dangerous. The one thing I can respect about synthetic turf is it's consistent. No matter what, it is consistent. When I step here, I'm going to be able to make a cut. When I go there, when I land on it, it's going to feel the same no matter what. Grass is not consistent. I might step here. The worst was in San Francisco. San Francisco used to play. I used to like catch a punt, take one step, and 2 feet of grass would go out from under me. And it just drove me crazy because to me, that's more dangerous. Chris Clemens tore his ACL in grass in Washington late in the season. Late in the season is the biggest issue here. So I can't stand this argument because there's so much to it. I don't want to go play in grass in Chicago in December. I think that'd be the worst thing ever because the grass isn't rooted anymore. It doesn't grow anymore. It doesn't do that. Have you ever looked at a practice field? Have you ever looked at this? There's a reason the Seahawks have 3 grass practice fields.
Right.
It wears down. You practice one day on it and you go to the other one because the wear and tear from everything that happens in between the hash marks is grass can't keep up with that. There's no way you can keep up with that in an entire week. So there's a reason why teams go to turf, because it's consistent, because it's just easier to maintain that way, because it is impossible to keep up with grass. Golf course, when you take a divot, well, guess what? That divot doesn't repair for 2 weeks growing back. 2 weeks. You can't do that in the NFL. You can't go every 2 weeks.
Right, because, and especially in those stadiums that share, the Giants and Jets, where there's a home game every single week, the Chargers and Rams, there's a home game every single week on the calendar. Like, there's not enough time to do the repairs needed in order to get that playing surface back up to speed. J.C. Tretter back in May talked, I forget whose podcast he was on, but he said that one of his goals as head of the players union is to get grass surfaces everywhere.
And what we want is good grass fields. And we want good, solid fields. You don't just want pull out the Muni golf course grass out on every field. You want high quality surfaces. I think one thing is understanding what our players care about. And there is something there that the data hasn't been able to spit back out at us, which if you ask every player, we polled 1,700 players, 92% say they want grass over turf. Yeah. There is something about the feeling of being on grass that your body feels different. I think if you ask the coaches, just standing on grass for standing on turf for 3 hours feels different.
I don't know why it matters what the coaches think about it.
Yes, when given the opportunity, every player is going to say we want grass. Yes,
sure.
I will say that. I will stand here and say I would rather play on good grass versus good turf. 100%. So that is a skewed thing to me because, yes, of course you want to play on grass. But I don't want to play on grass in Chicago in December. It's awful. It's terrible. It's Pittsburgh, and
Washington,
the grass doesn't
Green
grow.
Bay.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
You don't want that, and it's impossible to even grow it. So I just think this is the stupidest thing that's ever brought it. You know what's frustrating? J.C. Tretter's a teammate of mine at Cornell. It's like, come on, it's not possible. So forget this argument, please.
Just ignoring the science. And I think it's interesting you bring up how in San Diego, one of the sunniest places in America, you're never going to have to worry really about the weather at any point in the year. Even in a place like that, couldn't get the grass right at Qualcomm Stadium. I think I am with you, B-Walt, in all of this, where it just feels like this is J.C. Tretter's way of planting his flag on some issue that if the owners do acquiesce on this and they're like, fine, we'll give you grass surfaces, I feel like all the trouble that they've gone through all this is not going to be worth it because, like you said, it's going to wear down. The grass is going to turn brown, and then it's going to turn into mud, and then it's going to turn into dirt, and
it's more dangerous.
Exactly.
More injuries.
It gets more compacted. The colder the weather gets, it's like playing on cement. This whole turf issue in the NFL, I understand why players would want to play on a grass surface, but the feasibility of it all, it's just not possible, I think, for all 32 teams to have an immaculate playing surface like you see. Like, for example, the Super Bowl playing surface, wherever that is every year, it's always grass, but it's like flown in from, I think, somewhere in like Arizona because they can get the sunlight in that time of year to make the grass grow.
But it's also that in that 2 weeks or whatever it is that they repair, the roots aren't deep.
Right.
The roots are not dug in deep where the grass will hold like it can turf. Your foot will still give out. You will still see patches and stuff taken out and inconsistencies of it. And so for me, and maybe it's because I'm a wide receiver. Maybe it's because I was on the I was making the faster cuts than these linemen. You know, J.C. Treader was a lineman in the middle. He just wants probably soft grass under his feet. But like when you make your cuts on routes, it matters for you. When you know what you're getting, which was Arizona grass, I knew it was turf. I knew it was dug in deep. When I'm on field turf or synthetic turf, I know how that's going to cut every single time, and I can put everything into it and make that cut I need. Grass, there's nothing worse than running a route and you run everything that you practice all week, and you put that foot in the ground, and grass just slides out from underneath you, and you fall. And then coach is like, "What are you doing? Come on, keep your feet under." You're like, "All right, that was
there's nothing I can do,
nothing
coach.
I can do. That grass was not there." So the consistency of turf, I like. Obviously, the best grass in the game, the World Cup grass. Yes, I want to play on that all day, every day, but it's just not possible.
Coming up at 1 o'clock, we will check in on the Seahawks sale. A couple of candidates emerging from the pile. But up next, we speak with Mariners TV analyst Ryan Healy, who joins us next. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Do you have a special occasion or milestone to commemorate? Come discover Klein Jewelers in charming downtown Edmonds. As a locally owned family jeweler, we combine an impressively large selection with the warm personal service only a hometown jeweler can provide. Whether you're searching for the perfect engagement ring or a beautiful piece of diamond or gemstone jewelry, you'll find plenty to love and no pressure along the way. From life's biggest milestones to those just because moments. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds. You're a jeweler for life.
Do you have a wood deck that could use a little TLC this season? Start by giving it a good cleaning to remove dirt, pollen, or any mold or mildew. Then, if you're left with gray wood and decide you want to restain, use a wood brightener product first. Finally, when you're ready to bring life and color back into your deck, choose Penifin Ultra Premium Red Label Wood Stain. Its highly penetrating Brazilian rosewood oil formula provides superior protection for your wood deck. Penifin Red Label Wood Stain. On sale now at Dunn Lumber.
So you need to have a system where if a customer wants to transact online, shop their vehicle, find their vehicle, fill everything out, and do as much paperwork even online, and buy the car online, and then come in at an appointment time so they can be in and out in an efficient time, hey, my target goal is an hour. If you want to take half those steps, just know that, yeah, you're going to have another hour of transaction and paperwork, and then you're going to have roughly an hour of delivery. Some people even want more than that because it's a lot of technology. So it's making it available so a customer that wants to go 25, 50, or 100% meet them there where they want to be. If you want to take all these steps, I can meet you there.
Lee Johnson Auto Family. The LJ way.
Protecting workers' rights is the goal! Thousands of workers will help power the excitement of Seattle's Summer of Soccer from June 11th through July 19th. If you're working in hotels, stadiums, restaurants, security, temp jobs, or app-based delivery, you have rights. From wage theft to minimum pay, the Seattle Office of Labor Standards wants you to know that you are protected. Call 206-256-5297 or visit seattle.gov/labor standards.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's always something new at LeMay, America's Car Museum in Tacoma. Explore the all-new British Motorcycle Exhibition and the thrilling American Supercar Showcase. Fuel up at the brand new cafe, then buckle up on the most advanced racing simulators anywhere. Plus exciting events in July. First Responders Appreciation Day on the 11th. Drive-in movie night on the 24th. Tacoma Cars and Coffee with a Hot Wheels track on the 25th. And cruise in on the 30th. Bring the family and see what's new. AmericasCarMuseum.org.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Recently arrested and released cornerback Ryon Arnold appeared in court today, and his agent Nicole Lynn said that 4 teams have reached out about signing him despite his legal situation. Those 4 are the Colts, Jets, Texans, and Seattle Seahawks. The MLB draft starts tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific on MLB Network. Mariners hold pick number 25 in the first round.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Well, it's normally Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross, but I'm Curtis Rogers, sitting alongside Brian Walters, and we are now pleased to be joined by Mariners TV analyst Ryon Healy, who joins us on the show, making his very first appearance on the Bump and Stacy Show this season. Ryon, how's it going for you? We are experiencing some technical difficulties, so we'll try and get Ryon connected. But Mariners with a tough series in the rear view against the Miami Marlins, dropping all 3 games to them. They're the hottest team in baseball, B-Walt. Now they face a Rays team that is sitting in first place in the American League East. So it's going to be, again, a very tough go of it for this Mariners ball club over the next 3 days. They're going to have their work cut out for them, and it's a spot where they're going to need to really dig deep, I think, in order to keep what we have seen in this Marlins series from maybe spreading over the next over this weekend.
I think if you can get into the All-Star break, 1 game over 500, it's a win for this Mariners team, right? Taking 2 out of 3 from the Rays.
That'd be big.
I think that would be absolutely huge. and then just the reset button. And let's see what Ryan has to say.
Let's see. Yeah, we now bring in Mariners TV analyst Ryan Healy, who joins us via our video stream. So if you're catching it on YouTube, you'll see Ryan there. Ryan, welcome to the Bump Stacy Show. First time for you this season. How's it going?
Doing wonderful. I appreciate you guys stalling there for as long as you did. My microphone didn't want to work, so good. We'll compensate, adjust, and apologize that the audio is not as good as it should be.
All good, all good. No, we appreciate you carving out the time for us. But you and about a handful of your fellow Mariner alumni are going to be taking place in something that has never been done before here in Seattle. During Alumni Weekend, which is August 6th, 7th, and 8th, you and I think Ryan Rowland-Smith and Mike Cameron, Bucky Jacobson, I think you're all going to be participating in a home run derby. When was the last time you let it rip? How recently have you been in the cage?
Early last week.
Okay.
I just been traveling, just got back from a trip yesterday, so I haven't touched the bat in about 8 or 9 days. But last Monday, Tuesday, I was swinging in the cage.
I like it. How do you like your chances in this one? Honestly, you're going to be my betting favorite in this home run derby.
Okay, you're gonna hit the over hard on that. I don't know what the line's gonna be set at. Hopefully it's like 1.5 because maybe I'll have a chance. I don't know. You left out a pretty important name though. Ichiro is gonna be hitting in this as well.
Yeah, he might actually be the betting favorite because as we've long heard about Ichiro, he can hit a home run whenever he wants. He rolls out of bed and hits a home run. That's long been the rumor, so we'll hopefully get to see that during the derby. But Ryan, this Mariners team. They're going to be off starting Monday for 4 games, heading into the All-Star break with this really tough road trip. Did not go their way in Miami. They have an opportunity to hopefully salvage it here against a first-place Tampa Bay Rays team. When you're getting this close to the All-Star game, how hard is it to keep your foot on that gas pedal when some of these guys are looking at like, oh man, this is the longest time we'll get off during the season?
Yeah, I'd say this is one of the bigger mental grinds just because you're kind of in that flow state of just what's my day-to-day process as a player. You might look at some off days, but usually off days are associated with traveling, so it's not usually a full off day. I know that like the 3-4 day break, I used to try and go home and, spend it with my family as much as I could. It's weird. I would always end up getting really sick during the All-Star break because you feel like your body's just in fight or flight mode every single day. And then you sit down and relax for the first time in X amount of months and your body just goes into like this shock state where it doesn't understand, why it's not moving or why it's not playing in a baseball game, which is really weird, but it's a nice reset, especially mentally to be able to reflect a little bit on the first couple hundred at bats you had, where your team is at, and also refocus on what kind of the end goal was for this team or your team, whichever one you're on at that time. What you really started this journey, at least this 2026 season. What did we start this journey trying to accomplish? And do we feel like we've been getting ourselves closer to that?
Hey, Ryan, do most teams handle the All-Star break the same, just kind of let players go home, or do some keep them in town to work on things, or is there practice, or, is it different team to team?
I don't remember ever doing a workout for sorts. Normally, obviously, the first game back would be that Friday, so you have 4 full days off. Maybe there'd be an optional practice for that Thursday. If you're starting on the road, obviously there's a team flight that's going to be leaving that Thursday as well. I know some guys that would actually meet the team in the end destination, depending on where they would go. Everyone had a different process, but it's really free reign for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. Players can kind of do as they wish. And then usually Thursday, you start reporting back to your team for that game on Friday.
Ryan, we've seen Cal Raleigh struggle a lot this season in the first half, and we've seen him make adjustments, just trying to get that timing back to where it was a year ago. From a hitter's perspective, how long does it take maybe for a swing adjustment to catch? How long can it take sometimes for just a tweak here or there to work out? Or is that just at some points just kind of like, well, I liked how that felt, maybe that'll work? Is it what's the science behind adjusting your swing in season in order to kind of compensate for anything that you've not been doing in the season's first half?
this is the hardest part for fans to process, fans of baseball especially, is that timing and adjustments are so individualized, meaning every player has their own formula. And the longer that you play, the more experience you have, the better kind of baseline and gauge you have on that. So for me, initially, it always took about 50 bats. I feel like I had my timing down to be able to be on time for fastball, recognize secondary pitches. 50 bats baseline, that's usually when spring training would start. And then usually about 20 to 25 at bats to feel an adjustment starting to stick. But that's only if I'm really bought in on it. If I'm really bought in on the adjustment, then okay, I can sacrifice, let's just call it 10 to 15 at bats. It's 3 games total right there. The problem is, though, if I'm not getting any success in those 3-game windows, where's my head at mentally? I'm kind of going back to, should I just go back to what I was, or should I continue trusting this? Like, if you're not fully convicted on what the adjustment should be, then it's really an infinite timeline there. And I think that's probably what we've seen with Cal this year a little bit, is like the adjustments will click, some quality will show up, and then baseball will punch you in the mouth. And I remember in the minor leagues especially, because there's such a different pressure point in the major leagues where everything matters. Every pitch, every bat, every run, every out. It matters more than anything in this world. At least it feels that way. In the minor leagues, you'd have a hitting coordinator show up. He would take you to the batting cage for 2 hours, ask you to change all these things, throw this cyclone into your world, and then disappear for the next 2 months. And you're like, what just happened? I just went 0 for my last 15. Our hitting coordinator, who I'm supposed to trust and know, just threw a curveball at me. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to stick with this when he leaves, or if I'm supposed to try something different now. And my guess is Cal has plenty of opinions and plenty of information right now. He's trying to figure out how to filter it down to what works for me, what do I truly believe in, and how do I go all in on something.
Ryan, are you a golfer?
Loose terminology, yes.
Okay. So I always try to put something like this in a concept that I understand, which is golf and, football. But like this, for some reason, makes me think of golf. I think of going to a driving range and grinding on some kind of swing change. And, man, it feels good at that range, right? You're getting it. Mm-hmm. You're getting everything in all the right places. But the second you're thrown onto the golf course, or in this case, the second you're thrown into a game, you kind of revert back to what's comfortable, back to old habits, things, because you just haven't had the time to really get comfortable. And you have, on a golf course, you have your swing lessons or whatever. So I guess what I'm asking is one, is this kind of like that? And two, is how do you mentioned, coaches giving you all this information and all that, but it's also about how you feel and how, what makes you hit the ball good. So how do you balance that? The info your coach is giving you versus what you need to do and things like that, just to get yourself back on track.
I'll answer the second part of that question first, and let's finish it with the golf analogy. The relationship and the trust that you have with the hitting coach matters more than anything in this situation, because you are essentially giving so much away to someone. Like, you still have to, be holding the steering wheel and be driving your own ship and have complete control over your results, whether they're good or bad. Like, it takes a lot to have that. So you go through this process of, I trust this coach, whatever he says I will do, but I have to find a way to make it my own. There's also a ton of information that's being thrown at you throughout this process that you may not always understand immediately. And that's where players will ultimately, or sometimes, lean on coaches maybe that aren't in the same circle or same room. So like the Mariners coaching staff, like, I'm sure Cal has someone that he hits with back home. I'm sure there's conversations that are being had outside of that clubhouse and that locker room. I'm not confirming or saying that's happening. I know how players work. So there's probably opinions that are happening outside, trying to be blended on the inside, and then ultimately stepping in the batter's box. And if Cal doesn't have clarity on what that version of himself is that night, any sense of doubt in the major leagues is going to be exposed. There's a guarantee with that. And I think that's what we're seeing is there's some doubt, there's some uncertainty being exposed because pitchers are too good in the major leagues for you to get away with that. When it comes to golf, and hopefully people that are listening to this can relate to this mentality, or like where your mind goes during this process. Imagine stepping, on the first tee box. You just hit 50 drivers right down the middle where your misses were within a 15 to 20 yard margin in the range, and you're like, I'm locked in, I'm dialed, I'm going to go dominate this round today. I step on the first tee box, that first drive of the day, it goes left into the crap, and now it's out of play. Okay, well, I get a breakfast ball, so no worries. I'm going to go ahead and tee a second one up. I'm going to forget that first one even happened. Let's lock in. Let's hit this one. Here's my cue. Let's get this. Let's really make sure that back elbow slots behind me. Okay, and now you slice one 150 yards right. So now you just started off your golf round with two balls OB, and on 50 swings you just took before the round ever started, completely dissolved within 2 swings of your golf club. And now you have doubt instilled in yourself with that driver for the rest of the day. So the next tee box you step there, maybe you grab a 4-iron. Well, guess what? You chunked that 4-iron, so now your safety club isn't even going to work. So how can I get this ball from this tee box forward towards the hole so that I can maybe not triple bogey this next hole? Because the only images that are in my mind is failure, because that's exactly what happened is I just failed. I was on time, ready for my oboe fastball, and I got beat again on it. Gosh darn it, I got beat again on the fastball? How did that happen? I was hitting 110-mile-an-hour fastball machine foam balls for the game. Why can't I get on time with this fastball? So the recent failure all of a sudden starts spiraling in your head. And now you're not present. You're not focused on what you can execute. And now the golf round in the back gets away from you.
It's too good. I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah?
Yeah. You're like course record going to that first tee and then just block it and you're fighting for your life the entire 18. Yeah,
wow.
Too good.
That was, that was incredible. Ryan, we've got you for about a minute or so here. When you look at this Mariners team and just kind of the names available at the deadline, is there a name or two that you would absolutely do everything you could to get him on this Mariners roster to help out in the stretch run?
I mean, I feel like social media throws out every name that you could possibly dream of, whether you really want them or not. So fans already have perspective on that. And so I guess what I'll give fans is this perspective instead. How the Mariners have performed this first half has put this front office in a really tough spot, in the sense that they have 2 choices. They can make some additions to an already team that was projected to go to the World Series and has a lot of talent on there, but is maybe underperformed and has a chance to bounce back. They can really trust that initial construction of the roster, or they can do some serious addition by subtraction. They could really shake this thing up and move on from some bodies that are going to become free agents at the end of the season that are really contributing in the big league level. They could move on, fans love, and just shake this thing up a ton because of how this team performed. And the unfortunate thing now for me being a fan, and a lot of fans out there, is that decision is in no one else's control any longer. Not the players, not the fans, not ours on media. Nobody controls what that storyline is going to be. It's going to be the front office. They get to determine the direction that this team goes because how much expectations were put on this team and then how much they've underperformed it to this point. And that's where my heart sinks a little bit, because I've seen players that I care about a lot get traded out, and I know how hard that transition is. And I guess what I do is I hope for the best here, and I hope that whatever decisions front office makes, it leads to a more consistent, more successful Mariners team the second half.
He is Mariners TV analyst Ryon Healy. Make sure you're catching him and the Alumni Home Run Derby, which is Friday, August 7th, following the Mariners 6:40 p.m. first pitch. You don't have to buy a separate ticket for it. It is buy one, get into both the Mariners game and the Derby, which follows immediately after the final out. Ryan, really appreciate you stopping by. Our text line is not convinced you're just a scratch golfer. They think there might be a little bit more to it than that, but really appreciate you stopping by here on this Friday afternoon.
Good stuff. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. There goes Ryon Healy. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra,
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Front Office Sports reports 2 frontrunners have emerged in the Seahawks sale. A group led by former Celtics owner Whit Grousbeck and a group led by 49ers minority owner Vinod Khosla. What's the real headline?
Real headline, we can all breathe a sigh of relief knowing it likely will not be Tom Dundon, the Portland Trail Blazers owner, who Jody Allen and the Allen estate sold to a few months ago, and that market has been in a world of hurt since Dundon took over, where he's ran things very cheaply. He does not want to use any of his fortune to fund a $600 million renovation of the Moda Center. I hope that Jody Allen has done a lot more background info on these groups than it appears with Tom Dundon. But B-Walt, I like that both of these groups come from organizations that have had a long track record of winning. One is a 49ers minority owner where it's kind of like, I don't know about that. But all in all, I haven't heard anything about either of these groups that makes me super concerned.
Here's the thing about it all. If you're going to buy the team, make sure you keep it first class. And by doing that, your checkbook has to be open. Like, that's just the unfortunate part of it. You got to spoil everyone in the building. And right now the Seahawks do that better than anybody. I mean, I think you said that Arizona Cardinals staff has to pay for their own meals, which to me is bizarre. I mean, that's just crazy to me. And the Seahawks just do it right. That's not the case here. Players are treated right. The staff's treated right. Everything's at the players' disposal. If they need it, the Seahawks will do their best to get it for them. And I think that's what makes an organization work. That's what makes an organization win, is keeping the players and the staff happy. And so whoever ends up buying this, I think that is the one thing that needs to stay put.
In a little more than 40 minutes from now, we will be joined by front office sports reporter Ben Horney, who has all the details on what will come next for this Seahawks sale. So 1 o'clock, you can hear that. Let's get to headline number 2.
Headline rewrites.
Mariners close out the first half of the season with a series against the first-place Rays this weekend. What's the real headline?
Headline, it's an American League first place, so it's really more like a National League third place, if we're being real. The AL's in a bad spot. It's in a very bad spot. But the Rays are actually the only team right now, B-Walt, that I look at and say, yeah, they'll probably be there in October. The Yankees, they've been really good too at times, but they've been ice cold as of late. Everybody else, man, it is a whole lot of nothing in the American League. So hopefully that means maybe there's an opportunity for the Mariners to take a few here, but what a frustrating finish to the first half it's been.
It would be a good way to right the ship
sure.
of the first half, would be to take 2 out of 3 from the Rays. Hopefully take them all and kind of get back on track with this just slow crawl and reach for this All-Star break. Just get them to the All-Star break right around 500, which they'll be, and hopefully the adjustments will be made and they can cruise afterwards.
We made the comparison to start off the show of it feels like you're in a dream and you're trying to run and your legs and your arms are not moving in sync, and it's like, I know how to run. Why can't I do this? Yep. And then meanwhile, this giant grizzly bear is behind you, gaining on you, and you're just like, no. And hopefully you wake up before the bear gets you. But yeah, this first half has been just so frustrating to watch at times, especially the last few nights in this Marlins series. Got an opportunity though to close out on a high note.
Headline rewrites.
The MLB draft is this weekend, and the Mariners select 25th in the first round. What's the real headline?
Real headline, based on the Mariners' recent track record, the draft is actually worth paying attention to. There were a lot of years that the draft would come and go, and you hear the Mariners' first pick, and it's kind of like, all right, don't know if we'll ever see that guy. But that has not been the case. The Mariners have been on a nice run of promoting their first-round picks and either getting them to the big leagues or maybe using them as trade bait. I know they've dealt Harry Ford and Durangelo Sanger in the last few off seasons, or actually this past off season. But I mean, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Colt Emerson, just Cole Young, so many first-round picks find their way to the big league roster. Joe Doyle, who joined me on Extra Innings earlier this week, spoke on what could be available for the Mariners at pick number 25.
There's probably 10, 12, as many as 15 names in play. I think Seattle is going to take what kind of falls in their lap at 24. This is a decent year for college pitching. I think there's going to be some options there. I think you kind of look for a guy like a Mason Edwards out of South Carolina, Taylor Rabe out of Ole Miss. Maybe you look for a guy like Cade Townsend out of Ole Miss as well. There's going to be some college pitchers that will be enticing to the Mariners.
So those are some names to watch at pick number 25. B-Walt, you said you got a call from the Dodgers when you were in high school. Who in the Dodgers organization was it? Was it like a scout or was it?
Yeah, some area scout.
Just
yeah. And then, but it was Major League Baseball just fascinates me, and just the development and the steps you have to go through. It was like, hey, we'll draft you in one of the 180th round,
30,
yeah, whatever there was at the time, and send you to community college for 2 years, and then join our farm system, whatever. I don't even know how it works, but I was kind of like, no, I'm gonna go play football. This is confusing to me, but
worked out.
The
well
point is, the stuff that the amount of steps to get to the major leagues is incredible for these players, and you just love to see that these first round picks from the Mariners I mean, look at that streak they had. You just listed a lot of Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Emerson Hancock. Harry Ford is playing somewhere. Did he get sent down?
He got traded to the Nationals.
Yeah, no, but I think did they send him down?
They did promote him to the big league.
They promote him now. Okay,
year,
all right, yep. Okay, then Cole Young, Cole Emerson. So they've been on a little heater here back. When you'd expect guys to finally make it to the majors, which is what, 3 or 4 years after you draft them, probably.
Yeah.
So they're doing good. So kind of, you're right, a little more interest in this draft than usual.
Yeah, good stuff from the Mariners usually on draft weekend. You don't have the number 3 pick like you did last year with Cade Anderson, who's probably going to be the next first-round pick to reach the big leagues, but should have some talent available at 25. Cole Emerson, I think, was taken at 23 the year that they drafted him. So, look, the MLB draft, the biggest crapshoot in all of the professional sports. Yeah. So there you could find somebody at pick 25. There's no doubt about that. Coming up at 1 o'clock, like I said, we're talking with Ben Horney, Front Office Sports, on the Seahawks potential sale. But up next, NFL headlines. Seahawks linked to a cornerback that is in a lot of trouble right now. We'll talk about that next. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw Wyman and Bob's latest digital exclusive first.
Cole Young, he is just turning into an absolute star.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he can generate that kind of power.
He's listed at 5'10", 180.
Yeah.
And he's got big pop, just tremendous, and playing great defense. He might be your best overall player right now in terms of the way he's functioning.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and know first. Seriously, what are you waiting for?
No hot water at 6 a.m. is no way to start your week. The Fast Water Heater Company has been the one to call in Seattle since 1986. And now, as part of Fast Home Services, they're making it even easier. Dave Wyman here. Get $200 off a new tank water heater or $400 off a tankless installation. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Pests and poor installation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated installation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit EastsideExterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event, powered by WFC, Saturday night, August 8th. A night of professional boxing, where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, August 8th at Emerald Queen Casino. Always entertaining. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit EmeraldQueen.com.
Long days call for lots of golf. Hey, it's Graz here, encouraging you to book a tee time between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. at your local premier course, like Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inner Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, and Walter Hall. In Western Washington, you know you're never far from a premier course. It accommodates all skill levels, and with affordable rates, you can book a tee time and truly enjoy the summer. If you're not in the mood for walking, play Top Tracer at the range at Inner Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park. Play the courses. Play Premier.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 11th and 12th. 480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center. Saturday and Sunday, July 11th to 12th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard, or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeService.com.
Every summer, homeowners wait too long to find a house painter. There are only a few months left of good weather. Don't be the one left out in the rain. All Covered Painting is accepting a limited number of exterior projects this summer. If you want a licensed contractor that does the work right and backs it up with an industry-leading warranty, don't wait. Now offering a complimentary color consultation with a designer for specific projects. Get your free estimate at allcoveredpainting.com.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
When I'm catching up with friends or family, C-Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue, it's where we go. A welcoming atmosphere, and I get to see my good friend, Chef John Howie.
Hey, thanks, Brock. At C-Star, we're known for fresh local seafood, unmatched hospitality, and great value. Right now, enjoy a 3-course dinner in the lounge every night, starting at just $50.
$50. You cannot beat that value these days, and it's only with Chef John Howie at CStarRestaurant.com, CStarRestaurant.com.
Motorcycle accident cases require a thorough investigation by a team of experienced legal professionals if they have any chance of being successful. Insurance companies, juries, and even the police tend to assume the worst about motorcycle riders. Get help from an experienced team of attorneys that have successfully resolved hundreds of motorcycle accident cases over the past 30 years. Call Davis Law Group for a free legal consultation or get my free book on motorcycle accidents at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
NFL headlines. Some of the biggest stories in the NFL. Yeah, we're still a few weeks away from training camp, but a lot going on, especially one rumor that involves the Seahawks today, involving a cornerback that has found himself in very hot water. Recently arrested and released cornerback Ryon Arnold, the 2024 first-round pick of the Detroit Lions, appeared in court today, and his agent, Nicole Lynn, said that 4 teams have reached out about signing Arnold despite his legal situation. Those 4 teams are the Indianapolis Colts, New York Jets, the Houston Texans, and the Seattle Seahawks. Lynn says her client could sign with the team within the next 45 days. Arnold is awaiting trial on felony kidnapping and robbery charges. He could face life in prison if convicted. B-Walt, I got to be honest, I don't think it's worth it to sign somebody facing that serious of a legal charge. Now, if he's found not guilty, if it goes through trial, then maybe you kind of convince yourself of that, but that just seems like a big distraction that I don't know if the Seahawks team needs right now.
I would agree. Well, I mean, the easy answer is, of course, if he's guilty, duh. But I think you have to do your due diligence as a team, especially. Just call him, see what's going on, what's the situation, get their facts going. Obviously, it'll all play out outside the Seahawks' hands and other teams that are interested hands, so they'll be waiting to see. But again, if he's found not guilty and there was a big miscommunication or whatever, I don't know too much about what happened or anything, but then at least you're a front runner, you're up there, and you're ready to make a move if you need to be.
Yeah, I believe he was arrested in connection with what was a planned robbery where Arnold had hired people to jump out and retrieve some memorabilia of his, and then obviously the situation escalated, and now he's facing some pretty serious charges. Yeah, so it sounds like the whole within the next 45 days, maybe that's accounting for a trial and maybe a decision made by a jury in Arnold's situation. But yeah, I mean, 45 days, that's well into training camp. That's probably close to the start of the preseason, actually, because I think the Seahawks First preseason game would be August like 23rd or something like that.
I believe so.
Yeah, or August, around that time. So I'll pass on Terrion Arnold right now. It just doesn't seem like it would be worth it. A lot of people down on the Seahawks running back group after the departure of Ken Walker, but do not count ESPN Radio's Evan Cohen among them. He sees a big year coming for Seahawks rookie Jadarian Price.
This guy is going to win the Rookie of the Year this year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jadarian Price. He's going to have a better career with his team than his teammate will with his. It's not to say that Jeremiah Love is not better than Jadarian Price. It's to say that one guy from Notre Dame is joining, as Cece mentioned, the Super Bowl champs that are unbelievable, run-heavy offense. The other guy is joining a team that is a disaster previously with the Arizona Cardinals. Jadarian Price, Offensive Rookie of the Year right now.
Lofty expectations for Jadarian Price. What would you consider to be a successful year for Jadarian Price in year one?
Well, I think that would be fantastic, obviously. And here's the thing about that. He's going to get all the opportunity possible. I mean, he is. I mean, with Charbonnet probably out till midway through the season at least, Jadarian's the guy. He's the guy that's going to get the touches. He's the guy that they invested a first-round draft pick on. He's the guy that they drafted probably for the first time in a while on a need that they need. And he's going to be given the rock, especially with Brian Fleury. And you've seen how he used, I mean, he wasn't the OC, but how that San Francisco style used Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield all the time and how they used him as a weapon. So Jadarian Price, absolutely. I think he has, if he can take this opportunity and run with it, I think absolutely he'll be the one of the top dogs for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Do you think he'll be the starter week one?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, 100%, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's any question really about it.
I think the only question I have is because you hear the messaging coming from the Seahawks coaching staff a lot of the times, and they speak very highly of George Healy and what he gave them in the postseason after Zach Charbonnet went down. That's the only way I could see maybe Healy snaking a lot of that opportunity for Jadarian Price just because of how the coaching staff thinks of him. But yeah, the Seahawks in 2026 will be at their very best if Jadarian Price is your starting running back. I think even after Zach Charbonnet comes back.
And here's the thing: is George Healy, is he going to maybe be the first running back on the field? Maybe gets the first carry of the season. He could, absolutely. But who's going to get the bulk of them that first game? It's going to be Jadarian Price.
How can Caleb Williams continue to develop as a passer? ESPN's Jordan Rogers says he doesn't need to be Superman on every play.
Well, everybody's complaining about the completion percentage. Why did it dip from his rookie year to year one under Ben Johnson? Well, it's because he went from probably the lowest yards per attempt his rookie year in the NFL to a team that wants to, in a system under Ben Johnson, wants to push the ball downfield. So you expected the completion percentage to dip a little bit. What he's got to start to understand is he doesn't have to be a home run hitter every single time. If Ben Johnson dials up a play that is designed to hit downfield, if the coverage is there, you don't have to force it. You can check the ball down. You can find Luther Burden as a quick outlet, a guy that can make plays after the catch. So he's got to take a little bit of the home run hitter mentality off his shoulders, realize that he doesn't have to put a Superman cape on every single time. You can be efficient in this offense while still being explosive if you make smart decisions.
I think I agree because you look at Caleb Williams and his numbers were great last year except for the completion percentage. B-Walt, you played with a quarterback that from time to time tried to make the Superman play. A lot of times it worked. Sometimes it didn't. You found yourself, watching a pick six go the other way or fumbling to start the NFC Championship game in 2013. Cough. I guess when you look at Caleb Williams and how he definitely tries to make that big play nearly every time he drops back, do you see some Russell Wilson in him in the way he kind of picks and chooses where to do those kinds of plays?
I don't know if I see a Russell Wilson in Caleb. I think Caleb's more just the lack of a better all-around quarterback. He has all the intent, all the tools that you need to be probably a top 5 quarterback in this league. I think where Caleb Williams is getting a little bit of heat is just the way the season ended. I mean, he threw the interception in the last drive to the Rams where they were going, I think it was second down, and that's exactly the play that he's talking about right here, is trying to extend it, throwing it downfield, and there's a really, really bad interception that he threw that cost his team a win against the Rams to go play against the Seahawks. in the NFC Championship. So that's where he's getting a lot of slack right now. But there's a tough balance between trying to mold your quarterback to just being that pocket passer, say, and not forcing anything, to just letting him play and being that playmaker. Because the playmakers, I mean, you saw what Russ could do with his legs and move in the pocket. And he did a great job with it. Caleb's kind of that too, where he can move and he can make a play out of nothing. And it's hard to take that away from someone. So I always just say go forward, but be smart.
Elsewhere in the NFL, well, actually not in the NFL, this guy's been out of the league for a year, but is Derek Carr still trying to make a comeback? He was on with NFL Network's Good Morning Good Morning Football today, and he said he'd be open to it, but he's also enjoying retirement.
I'll never say never. It would take a special situation. There's multiple teams that reached out to me this offseason, and I won't say who or how, but they reached out and was, just gauging my interest on, what I wanted to do and all those things. And they were, good, solid football teams, but a couple of them in some different situations. I think I'm just at the point where I just want to win, man. I want to win, and I want to do those things. And so if I were to do it, it would have to be a special team, that maybe lost somebody or needed somebody. But even then, it's not guaranteed. I'm having too much fun hanging out with my wife, hanging out with my kids, and trying to get good at golf. So it would take a special deal, but I'm always training.
I can't imagine there's a team desperate enough to take Derek Carr after the way his career ended in New Orleans. You'd maybe like in a Phillip Rivers situation, like last year where the Colts were like, we need somebody.
Yeah.
And maybe Derek Carr gets that call, but I don't see a path for him to be a starting quarterback in the NFL anymore.
How did it end in New Orleans? Did he retire in New Orleans?
Yeah.
They didn't cut him, right?
No, he retired.
So technically, New Orleans probably still owns his rights.
I think so, yeah.
And so that makes it more tough. And when he comes out and says stuff like this, it's a little knock right on the Saints, right? It's kind of a punch in the face. Like, I want to be on a winning team. And so
Saints actually aren't in a bad spot.
They're not in a bad. I think they're going to surprise some people this season. But, the Saints have to own it. So it'd be if he did come back, wouldn't it have to be some kind of trade, or Saints would have to release him or something like that? Because it'd be almost the Aaron Donald situation with the Rams, where the Rams still own his rights if he did come back, correct?
I think so, yeah. That is NFL headlines. Coming up next, yesterday we heard from Mike Macdonald that he got some advice prior to the Super Bowl from someone who would be a conflict of interest. One NFL insider says he thinks he knows who it is. We take a listen to that audio coming up next. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports.
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward every morning at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
The offensive coaching staff, how are they unique?
A tremendous diversity of skill sets and backgrounds. Fleury in particular, 17 years on the defensive side of the ball.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
It's summertime and the living is easy. If you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio listening to the game and enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. Dave Wyman here, and I have just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final project. I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They're a local company right here in Bothell, down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on our local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. Use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
Go to HarleyExteriors.com.
Sales will sell the first car, but service sells the second and the third and the fourth car. And that's really the long-term vision.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way. Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Hi, Chef John Howie here. For 24 years, my team and I at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar have called Bellevue home. We serve fresh, locally sourced seafood, farm fresh produce and poultry, and great steaks. At Sea Star, we like to say there's something for everyone, from the carnivore to the pescatarian to the vegetarian. Come see for yourself at Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue. SeaStarRestaurant.com, SeaStarRestaurant.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community? Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best? Why Seattle and Seattle Sports want to celebrate her. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at woiseattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know there is hope. After only 3 weeks of treatment, 86% of patients report a reduction in symptoms. For Melissa, treatment gave her confidence.
Before I found Northwest Ketamine Clinics, I was hopeless. I have done individual therapy on and off since I was 16. When I called Northwest Ketamine Clinics, it was immediately like, this is what we do, this is why it's safe. 2 months after I started ketamine, I just got a wild hair and was like, I'm gonna do jujitsu. My other friends are just really glad that I found something that works.
Everyone's path to healing is different. Schedule a free consultation today to find out if ketamine therapy is right for you. They have immediate availability, so you can get started this week. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Long days call for lots of golf. Hey, it's Graz here, encouraging you to book a tee time between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. at your local premier course, like Bellevue, Bill Wright, Cedar Crest, Inner Bay, Jackson Park, Lake Padden, Legion Memorial, Linwood, and Walter Hall. In Western Washington, you know you're never far from a premier course. It accommodates all skill levels, and with affordable rates, you can book a tee time and truly enjoy the summer. If you're not in the mood for walking, play Top Tracer at the range at Inner Bay, Bill Wright, and Jackson Park. Play the courses. Play Premier.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Make sure you're texting in your questions to the text line 866-979-3776 for what I need to know. That comes your way an hour from now. By the way, do you know a woman who gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. Together, we want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are now open till today, July 10th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org before today's deadline. I'm Curtis Rogers. Brian Walters here with me. We're filling in for Bump and Stacy today. And yesterday, B-Walt, we heard from Mike Macdonald in a very wide-reaching interview with Dan Patrick about the upcoming season, the Super Bowl last year. This answer from Mike Macdonald, though, got everybody talking around the NFL. It was who he got advice from heading into the Super Bowl, and Mike Macdonald playing coy about one specific person who he got some help from.
Who did you seek advice from going into the Super Bowl that might surprise me?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I called John Harbaugh and I talked. He was great. Probably can't mention one guy that really helped us out that had some conflict of interest.
Can we guess?
Sure. I don't know if I'm going to tell you, but go ahead.
Bill Belichick.
I'm not that cool.
Oh, yeah.
No.
He wouldn't. No. You wouldn't have a phone call.
I've had a beer with Coach Belichick, and that was a pretty cool. That was a pretty cool day.
Okay.
But,
who else would we guess? Kyle Shanahan?
No, Kyle. No.
So Mike Macdonald not giving the answer, but a lot of people have speculated that there might be another person with plenty of Patriots ties that Macdonald maybe sought advice from. Tom Brady. Now, it's all been kind of speculation. No one's really spelled it out until just a little bit ago. On 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston, NFL insider Albert Breer, who writes for MMQB and Sports Illustrated, basically outlined why all of this whispering about who Mike Macdonald spoke to ahead of the Super Bowl points to one person and one person only, Tom Brady.
Why would he have access to Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady was hiring his offensive coordinator during those 2 weeks.
Remember Brady didn't have a dog in the fight?
Yeah, well, Brady, like if you want to put 2 and 2 together here, Brady was in the process with the Raiders of hiring Clint Kubiak, who was the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks at the time, and it would behoove the Raiders for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl because it makes their hire look better if Clint Kubiak is coming off of a Super Bowl championship. And then, obviously, Brady had also just called the NFC title game. So Brady was in the booth for the Seahawks beating the Rams, and so there was a level of communication there, too.
It makes a compelling case that it was Tom Brady that was helping out Mike Macdonald. I don't see what the issue is in Tom Brady potentially helping out Mike Macdonald ahead of the Super Bowl. Like, I think the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl regardless of any insight that Tom Brady could give to Macdonald ahead of the Super Bowl.
So, all right, Tom Brady's won 7 Super Bowls.
Uh-huh.
So if you're Coach Macdonald, why wouldn't you ask him?
Sure.
He's around. He's there.
They're
You're
in production
allowed
meetings
to ask
together.
him
Yeah.
any advice you get. So, all right. So at these golf tournaments we've been playing in, Ray Allen plays in them a lot, and he was up on stage. They were doing. John Smoltz was interviewing him about certain things in one of these, and Ray Allen kind of went into a little like a little side thought here, and he talked about how like he was at the airport, and he's at the airport walking, and a bunch of kids recognized him, and they came up to him, and they came up, and they said, "Oh, hey, Mr. Allen, can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph?" And Ray Allen stopped, and he looked at this is a basketball team, like a youth basketball team.
Yeah.
And he was thinking to himself, he's like, look, these kids have a 2-time NBA champion, a 10-time All-Star, and all these accolades that Ray Allen has done throughout his career. And the one thing they want is a picture and an autograph. Like, ask me questions.
Right.
Ask me, hey, what do I need to do to be great? What do I need to do to succeed this way? How did you get so good at shooting? Use the resources you have at your disposal right there in an airport to get better at what you're doing instead of just a picture and an autograph. Like, that, what does that do for you? How does that make you better? Just so you can go post it and show your friends? And so that's what Ray Allen went off about. And so this is kind of the same situation to me is if right there, Tom Brady's there, you're Coach Macdonald, a guy that's won 7 Super Bowls, and as Coach Macdonald has never been to a Super Bowl yet, pick his brain. Why wouldn't you do that? And I'm not saying he did talk to Tom Brady, but if he did, I don't see anything wrong with it. That's a smart move. That's something that he should do. Someone who's won 7 Super Bowls, who's been through it all, see what he has to say. And so hats off to Mike Macdonald if he did do that. That's what you should do. And all the kids out there, you see someone, ask him how you get better at your sport. It's not about the picture. It's not about the autograph, right? Like, I respected that I love that story about Ray Allen.
Pretty good advice, yeah.
Yeah, so hats off. I mean, that's what Coach Macdonald should do. There's no egos. Find out what the best in the business have done, how they did it, and translate that to your game.
Well, and Brady and Macdonald were in production meetings together in the NFC divisional round prior to the 49ers win, and then also in the NFC championship round prior to the Rams win. Like, yeah, it makes sense that in those production meetings, none of us are privy to what goes on in those. Like, coaches are allowed to share whatever information they feel will be pertinent to the broadcast. Producers and analysts and play-by-play guys, they can ask pretty much whatever question they want because it is done behind closed doors just so that they can be most prepared for the broadcast and share insights that none of us can get from these guys. So, yeah, it makes sense that I'm sure they exchanged phone numbers. I'm sure they exchanged, my agent can talk to your agent, what have you. And then also in the process of hiring Clint Kubiak, I'm sure there was a lot of correspondence back and forth between those two. Like, hey, like, we don't want to step on your guys' toes. We know you're preparing for a Super Bowl, but, like, we're really interested in hiring your guy. Like, we don't want to, distract from the task at hand. I don't see the issue with this at all, and I hope that, like, Mike Macdonald saying what he said, like, doesn't get him in trouble. I don't know how it could. Like, I hope it doesn't get the Seahawks in trouble or get, the Raiders and Tom Brady in trouble. It does feel like it's mainly Patriots fans and the Patriots media that has an issue with this because it's like, oh, Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls in a Patriots uniform. Like, he is the franchise. I get that he's not, with the Patriots anymore. He's with the Raiders. But, like, how could he be in cahoots with the enemy? Like, how dare he? Like, this is Boston's greatest athlete ever. Like, how could he do this? And it's like, you know what? Like, he doesn't have any loyalty to you anymore. He's wearing a different color. He's wearing, silver and black instead of the red and blue. So I just hope no trouble comes of this between, the NFL and the Seahawks or what have you. But yeah, I think and another connection between the two. Macdonald was Michigan's defensive coordinator. Tom Brady,
that's right,
a Michigan alum. So it makes sense that that's what's going on. Coming up next, we talk with Front Office Sports' Ben Horney as the Seahawks get closer and closer to making a decision on a sale. We'll discuss everything with him coming up right after this on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
He's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories. Like Kate, who was off on a long road trip with her best friend when the dash lit up like a game show. They find the nearest Les Schwab. Turns out they really needed an oil change. It was done in a flash. Road trip saved. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires. Our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And summer in Western Washington, it means trips to the beach, summer barbecues, little golf, that vacation maybe you've been looking forward to. Well, when you take those pictures this summer, don't you want to look and feel your very best? Eastside Weight Loss Clinic can help, and trust me, you can do this so fast. I lost 15 pounds just in the first 2 weeks, 35 pounds after 8 weeks. How about that? There's time, so what are you waiting for? Schedule a 15-minute, no-obligation consultation right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Here's what to expect. Safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss, no exercise, no pills, no injections, no surgery. You're eating all real food that you buy at the grocery store. You will lose weight, and you will look and feel your very best. That feeling, it's just on the other end of your 15-minute consult. What's the secret? You'll find out in only 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Schedule your quick intro today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about summertime. Bikinis, the occasional Speedo, sunshine, and almost always more drinking. But don't let the wine coolers or hard lemonades fool you. Too many drinks at the beach can get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're sporting a farmer's tan, but the police are wearing heavy, dark uniforms. And it's not because they're comfortable. If you don't take preventative measures, your summer tan can become a costly burn. Take a designated driver with that aloe vera and SPF 50. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation. Jail is no place to ask, missed a spot? Mind getting where I can't reach? Be reasonable this summer. And always remember, 1-800-DUI-AWAY has your back.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, better get 30, better get 20, 20, 20, better get 20, 20, better get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month. Sold!
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
For the first time in 4 years, Scotty Scheffler has missed a cut at the Genesis Scottish Open. He will be heading home for the weekend and getting started this weekend. The Mariners, a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays starting tonight, 4:10 p.m. first pitch. Luis Castillo on the mound for his final start of the season's first half.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Curtis Rogers and Brian Walters here filling in for Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross today. We are pleased to be joined now by front office sports reporter Ben Horney, who yesterday had a report that the Seahawks sale is narrowing down to 2 leading candidates. That'd be a group led by former Boston Celtics owners Whit Grausbeck and Aditya Maitel, and then a group led by 49ers minority owner Vinod Khosla. Ben, welcome to the show. Really appreciate you coming on with us, and just take us through. How close are we, first off, to figuring out who is going to win this bid?
Yeah. Hi, Curtis and Brian. Thank you so much, first off, for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here. And yeah, that's, the multi-billion-dollar question, right? So from what I can tell, people are expecting, I wrote this in my report, people are expecting there to be further news on this next month. That is in line with what some other places have reported. There's been, I think it was ESPN a little while ago, reported that there could be an owners meeting to approve a potential sale before the start of next season. That report came before we had any clue whether they were close at all, so it seemed a little bit premature. But now, if we're down to two bidders, I mean, they're reviewing the bids as we speak, as far as I know.
Hey, Ben, do you know if there was any other criteria that these two frontrunners had to meet that may not be about the final price?
That is a good question. I don't know for certain. I mean, my expectation is that they're looking for someone who is wanting to keep the team in Seattle, of course. I haven't heard anything about that being an issue, which does sometimes come up in other team sales. I mean, when Tom Dundon bought the Blazers, that question has not gone away, right? Whether they're going to remain in Portland. My sense is that they are hoping to get the highest bidder. And then something else that we might get into is, the hope was that there were going to be more big names, really well-known people with deep pockets, and that hasn't really materialized, as you kind of noted. I mean, Whit Grausbeck is pretty well-known. He owned the Celtics. Aditya Maitel, he's actually a current Celtics minority owner, and funny enough, from what I've heard, Whit is the person who introduced Aditya to become part of the group that bought the Celtics. And then the other person, Vinod Khosla, rich family, but not the most well-known name in the world.
When you talk about maybe the lack of interest in a Seahawks sale, what are the factors of that? Is it also another potential sale going on here in the city of Seattle at the same time where the NBA is looking to expand and they're fielding offers from people who are probably in the same tax bracket as these groups? Why do you think there hasn't been as much competition for this Seahawks sale?
So that's a great question. It's one I've been trying to figure out myself. And what you just said, I have actually heard that and when I'm talking to sources. However, I will also say that while it makes sense on its face, the idea that, well, hey, the NBA might be expanding to Seattle, so there's people who are sitting on the sidelines waiting. The truth of the matter is that as far as we know right now, Samantha Holloway, the Kraken ownership group, they're the only ones who are actually out there as having expressed interest in the potential Seattle NBA franchise. The other interesting thing with the Seahawks is, again, depending on who you ask, the interest level has either been high or not as high as people expected. I know that there have been at least 5, 6, 7 interested suitors throughout the process. I don't know exactly how many placed bids, but I mean, there's been a pretty good level of interest. I just think that they haven't gotten the huge names like a Steve Ballmer and whatnot.
Could you see a surprise candidate kind of rising to the top other than these two frontrunners right now?
It's possible. So I wrote in my report, one source told me that it's just down to those two groups and that was like a definitive thing. But then someone else cautioned that I should be careful reporting that as fact because someone could always come in at the last second. And again, I am not saying there's anything to this, but Steve Ballmer's name is the name that comes up just kind of as rumored and rumbling of like, he could jump in at the last second and say, hey, I'm going to offer $2 billion more than your highest offer. And if that happens, his offer is likely to get accepted.
You mentioned Steve Ballmer's name, and I believe I saw Bill Simmons about a week ago kind of speculate that maybe Ballmer gets in big trouble with the whole Kawhi Leonard under-the-table payments, and maybe he's forced to sell the Clippers. Is there any rumor, is there any life to that kind of speculation? If Ballmer does jump into the fray with a Seahawks sale, if maybe he does get in trouble with the NBA?
It's a fun question to ponder. I have not heard anything about the potential penalty for the Kawhi Leonard situation being selling the team. I would be shocked if that's the case. I think there's not really, I mean, maybe it's an unprecedented situation if they were found to have circumvented the salary cap, but it seems unprecedented to force an owner to sell a team based off that. So that would be surprising, but Bill Simmons speculating about Steve Ballmer's name lines up with a lot of the other random speculation. And again, it's hard to tell what is random speculation or people hoping and thinking, well, that guy's rich and we know his name, versus what has some legitimacy to it. You know, in my story, I mentioned Ballmer, but not necessarily as a potential bidder. I included him, to say what I said earlier about how someone could come in late, and also how when he bought the Clippers in 2014, this is what happened. He came in late in the process. He offered more than anyone else. And he originally, before that, had tried to buy the Sacramento Kings the previous year, and his plan was to move the team to Seattle. Obviously, he has Seattle ties with Microsoft, so the idea of him wanting a team in Seattle is not crazy, but we're speculating.
Is there there's a rumor going around that one of the minority owners of one of these groups could be a former Seahawk player. Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah. So that's what I heard, that there is a famous former Seahawks player in one of the groups. I'm not 100% sure which group it is. One person told me it's not Russell Wilson, which doesn't really narrow the field all that much. And also, to be clear, I know for a fact that there's at least one former Seahawks player involved in one of these groups. It doesn't mean there's only one. And I don't know that there is more than one, but there could be. Who knows?
On that note, what is expected of a minority owner? Like money-wise, what do they need to put into this? Do you have any idea on that?
Well, it really depends on the size of the group, right? So, I mean, no matter what, if you're involved in the purchase of an NFL team, it's going to be millions of dollars. I mean, this deal with something else that we may get into, it's going to more than likely be valued at higher than $6.05 billion, which is the current record for a change of control transaction in the NFL, the Commanders in 2023. Some people think it could be as high as $10 billion or more. So if you're buying even 1% of that, I mean, you can do the math. It's like $100 million.
Ben, I'm not a big finance guy, but in reading that there is something called Billionaire Summer Camp this weekend in Sun Valley, Idaho. Yeah. It's a meeting where basically every billionaire goes to. Do you think we could see some movement there, or at least get a clearer picture as to who might emerge in this sale?
100%. It's an astute observation by you, because that conference is put on by Allen and Company, which is the investment bank that's running the Seahawks sale process. So they have received these bids and are reviewing them. And as I reported, there was at least one bid that was essentially rejected. At least one buyer, prospective buyer, was told you're out of the running. So they have, it sounds like basically they're currently looking at these two bids, but they're at this summer camp with all the billionaires. So who knows what could happen behind closed doors? Again, wild speculation, but it wouldn't be out of this world to imagine that all of a sudden it's like, oh, Jeff Bezos, verbally said, hey, I'll offer however much money.
There was rumors that part of these negotiations or from the potential buyers had something to do with maybe a new stadium for the Seahawks, which I thought was crazy. What have you heard on that?
I do think that whether it's upgrades to the existing stadium or whether ultimately a new stadium will be built, I do think that's in the cards at some point. I don't know how immediate it is, and I haven't heard anything specifically about that being like a sticking point in negotiations. Although at the same time, kind of to your question earlier about minority investors, when you're trying to make this bid, you are trying to figure out how do you make your offer seem more appetizing to the seller and, to the people running the process. And one way to do that could be to, make promises of putting money into a stadium. I also go back once again to the Tom Dundon Portland Trailblazers situation. He has not promised to put any of his money into a stadium, and that is why we have these questions of whether they're going to stay in Portland.
You mentioned the Tom Dundon situation in Portland, obviously relevant here because he purchased that team from the Allen estate. When you look at how that has sort of transpired in the months since the sale, where Trailblazers fans have a lot of buyer's remorse with how that has happened, how much influence does the Allen estate have in this sale? Is it basically the NFL saying, no, you need to sell to the highest bidder, or is it them saying, no, we feel most comfortable selling to this group because they're going to continue with what we've built here?
That's a great question. I would say that it's a mix. So the way that it works is that 3/4 of the NFL owners would ultimately have to approve the new ownership group. But that said, I think, especially these two bidders who currently are viewed as the top two spots here, like they are very well regarded. They're all very well regarded people. I mean, the Kosla family is already invested in the 49ers, obviously with Grousbeck, longtime owner of the Celtics. So it's clear, and they won a championship right before he decided to sell. So obviously it's clear that they are adept at running these sorts of organizations. So it's kind of a mix. I think at this stage, we're probably more so the Allen estate is deciding. Theoretically, there could come a situation where NFL owners say, actually, no, we're not cool with these people. But my guess would be that if they accept an offer, the NFL owners will approve it.
And when you look at just the reported sale figures or just anything that's been thrown out there, I know with sort of the top of the line, people are saying about $10 billion. Does it look like they will kind of reset the market in terms of franchise valuations? Will they eclipse double digits in terms of billions of dollars in this sale?
I can't say with 100% certainty that they're going to eclipse double-digit $1 billion, but I can say pretty confidently that it is going to represent, the highest value sale of an NFL franchise for a change of control transaction. Because to be clear, a number of minority stakes have been sold in teams in the last couple of years at valuations greater than that. But for example, the Giants sold a 10% stake to the Koch family, and that deal valued the Giants at $10 billion or more, but it was a 10% stake. So there wasn't $10 billion changing hands. From everything that I've heard on this deal is that people expect that it could certainly go up to $10 billion. I think, again, to go back, they thought in the beginning of the process that maybe there was going to be bigger names, deeper pockets, and that might cause this bidding war that gets it up to numbers we're not even thinking of, $12 billion. It doesn't seem like we're there, but you never know.
Could you see a record sale of the Seahawks kind of triggering more sales of NFL teams here in the next few years?
I'm sure, because, if you just think about it from a human perspective, if you're someone who owns an NFL team, it's fun, but you're pouring a lot of something that I think people don't think too much about, which is you can think about it interestingly with the Tom Dundon situation, is that you put all of this money up for the team, and then you have to keep pouring money into it. I mean, it is very, very expensive to run and own any professional sports franchise. That said, if they sell for $10 billion, I'm sure that you're going to have some of these other owners. People are already doing this with just seeing the stake sales. It's like, I mean, how much money can we make? I mean, unless you are so committed to sticking with the organization forever, why wouldn't you make $8 billion and then just be a fan of the team,
Well, I'm going to go search for my invite to the Sun Valley conference. I think it might have gotten lost in the mail. Ben, I'll let you go find yours. He is Front Office Sports' Ben Horney, kind enough to join us here to shed some light on this upcoming Seahawks sale. Ben, really appreciate your insight, and hopefully this thing gets done soon and we can have you on again.
Thanks, Ben.
Yes, exactly. Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys soon.
Awesome. There goes Ben Horney. Coming up right now, actually, let's get to Four Down Territory.
This is Four Down Territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
B-Walt, I'm surprised you haven't hit up your former teammate group chats to see, hey, which one of you guys is bidding on this?
Who's buying it? Yeah, no, I asked Doug if it was him. It's not. We were just joking, though.
It's not Russ, apparently.
It's not me, in case anyone was wondering. I'm not part of this.
Awfully quiet.
I know.
Is it Bump? He's not here today. I just find it interesting that he dips on a day where we're tossing around former Seahawks as potential billionaires.
Bump heading to Sun Valley.
Ooh.
Man, look at that.
Well, I would say we could try to find him, but his phone's still not working. So it's a very billionaire move where it's like, my phone doesn't work. I'm not going to get a new one. You can reach me however you want. First down to you, B-Walt. Mike Macdonald told Dan Patrick on Thursday that analytics aren't something to be afraid of. How often did you as a player look at those numbers when prepping for an opponent?
I love that he says they're not something to be afraid of. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want to live by them religiously. You don't want to do everything analytics says, but you need to have that info. I think it's an advantage. It's something that you can help base your decisions off of, but ultimately it becomes what the coach is feeling in that moment, whether to go for it, whether to kick, whatever it is you're going to do. And as a player, we got numbers. I mean, we got what percentage of the time is this defense play this coverage on this down and so forth, and you got that to put yourself at an advantage when you're on the field. But that's not the one all be all. When you're out on the field, you're still reading the defenses live. You're still looking, okay, well they shifted to cover 2. I need to adjust my route this way. I need to do this. So there's still things you have to have on the field, but the analytics maybe just give you that little edge to get to that thought process faster.
Second down. Mike Macdonald also said he tries to get home before 9 p.m. most nights, regardless of where he's at in his work. So which teammate or coach of yours would stay at the VMAC the latest?
It's always the coaches, Curtis. Got to give it to the coaches. They put in the hours, and back in 2013, 14 at the VMAC, we had guys like Robert Sala, Dave Canales, both head coaches in the league now, putting in the hours, going through the scout team cards, writing it down. They were the quality control guys at that time, and look how they've work their way up the ladder as head coaches, and that's just the work that has to be done and the life they choose as an NFL coach. And there's a lot more you could say have become coordinators, special teams assistants, coordinators that are moving up the coaching ladder in this game. It's a tough business. I mean, guys had cots under their desk. They'd pull them out at night and sleep in their desk and, go shower in the coach's locker room and start the next day. They wouldn't see their families. And it's not the head guys. It's not the head coach. It's not the offensive coordinators. It's the quality control guys, the guys trying to make a name for themselves as coaches.
Third down. So the Mariners are holding an alumni home run derby in August. We talked to Ryan Healy about it to begin the third hour of today's show. Make sure you're checking that out on the podcast page. But B-Walt, which of your former teammates would do best in a Seahawks alumni football skills competition?
Yeah, besides myself, I would definitely win it. I'd be number 1. I have to throw that out there. But number 2 is an easy one for me because he's still playing. It's Bobby Wagner. He is still in good football shape. He is still ready to go, still ready to take over the all-time leading tackler in NFL history. Just needs to have a team sign him, and I'm sure he's just waiting for that right opportunity. But I think he's only 50 or 60 tackles away from setting that all-time record, so I would assume he will get that this season. But Bobby's got to be number 2, and there's a couple guys that stay in good shape. Doug Baldwin plays basketball a lot, so he's probably still can run a route, catch some footballs here and there. So, besides myself, Bobby Wagner, Doug Baldwin, I'd put them up there.
Fourth down. All right, so we've heard a lot of whining from the Rams about the Seahawks stealing home field advantage on that Thursday night win. I want to know from you, B-Walt, could the Seahawks have still made it all the way to the Super Bowl if they hadn't won the division last year?
Curtis, I was kind of on the train of no, where Rashid Shaheed's punt return in that game against the Rams on Thursday night got them to the Super Bowl, because it kind of got that momentum going in that game and let them win that game and go on that winning streak and clinch home field advantage. And, now that I think about it and I look back and I look at the track record of this team, I mean, 15-2 the last 2 seasons.
That's such a
on the
crazy
road,
stat.
isn't it? On the road. So whatever Coach Macdonald does to this team on the road, I mean, they know how to play somewhere else. So I look at that and I go, well, maybe on the road in the playoffs wouldn't have been a bad deal for them. I mean, obviously you want to be at home. That's no question. But if they had to do it, they could have done it. And I could see the way the Seahawks team was playing, the way that they were catching their stride at the end of the season. Yeah, I think they could have still made the playoffs on the road in the playoffs.
It's funny because I remember Macdonald saying after his first year that they were going to try and learn some different techniques on the road to help them out. And it's like, I don't know if you need to change a thing that you're doing on the road. 15-2 over 2 seasons.
8-1 last season.
That's an absurd record. Yeah, 8-1 last year. And I mean, I wouldn't count the Super Bowl as a road game, but neutral site game, again, away from home. You blew out the Patriots in that one. What is there certain characteristics of a coach, B-Walt? Maybe this is a fifth down here, but like, is there a characteristic of a coach that you see and it's like, yeah, this guy, he's going to have his team ready to go no matter whether it be at home or on the road?
I think you look at Coach Macdonald and you just see he lives for ball, for football. Like, he just loves the game, and you can tell that. You can see the way he talks about the schemes and the games, and you can just tell that he loves watching film. He loves diving into the X's and O's. And to me, as a player, that just shows, look, our coach is going to have us ready to play no matter what. He's going to put us in the right positions to succeed. And so that's what I would see in Coach Macdonald, what he does, and what any coach really to get his team ready to go. And then on the road, your time just gets cut that much shorter. And so how much quicker can you teach your team? Can you tell your team where they need to be, when they need to be, what's going to happen, what's coming at them? And so it's a skill set from coaches, and you see that in Coach Macdonald.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. That comes your way at 1:45. 866-979-3776 is the number to text. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. When we return, we do it every single week on Fridays. It's what's sticking with us. We do that next year on Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Congratulations, Randy Arozarena, 2026 All-Star.
It is grand salami time! Randy Arozarena clears the bases.
It's kind of helped them hang in there throughout this year.
He likes being on the big stage.
It is gone! Randy Arozarena strikes again. Welcome to Randyland.
From the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
It's summertime and the living is easy. If you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio listening to the game and enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. Dave Wyman here, and I have just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final project. I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They're a local company right here in Bothell, down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on our local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. Use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
Go to HarleyExteriors.com.
Every job's different, so why not your equipment plan? Rent it when you need it. Buy it when you're ready. Levitt Machinery makes it easy to get to work. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Pests and poor insulation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated insulation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit eastsideexterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeService.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Seattle to 67283. AlertSeattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text questions, we're taking them. If you got them, 866-979-3776. What I need to know comes your way in 15 minutes from now. He's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bumpin' Stacy, and this is what's sticking with us because this is how we wrap up every single week here on Bumpin' Stacy. And B-Walt, one of the takes this week that got Seahawks fans in a lather, I don't know if you saw it, but NFL Network's Bucky Brooks said he thinks the Seahawks are going to finish with 7 wins in 2026. He thinks they're going to go 7-10 this season, which I don't know where he got that number from. I think it's a bit preposterous myself, but he was on with Brock and Salk yesterday and explained why he thinks the Seahawks are going to go 7-10.
I would say there's a combination of that. Because remember, going into that last week, the San Francisco 49ers had the number 1 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you talked about that. Like, they were top of the division with all the injuries abound. They still were a team that had the opportunity to win the number 1 seed. Then when you talk about the L.A. Rams, I think we all talked about the L.A. Rams and the Seattle Seahawks being neck and up for who's 1 or 2 or whatever. But think about that. 3 of the top teams in the league, we're talking about in your division. So if there is any slippage, like the chasm can grow just because of how good the talent is. And that's not even talking about the rest of the NFC.
So he's most concerned with the level of competition in the NFC West, where basically if either one of those second games against the Rams and against the 49ers, if those go the other way, then you're looking at a Seahawks team that probably doesn't win the division. Okay, but where does that trim the Seahawks win total in half from a year ago? They won 14 games a year ago. 7 would be half as good. So let's say you do go 2-4 in your division, winning just 2 games against the Cardinals, and you get swept by the 49ers and swept by the Rams, which I don't see that happening because both those teams have to play here in Seattle as well. Like, where does the bottom fall out in this? Like, I personally don't see it. Maybe we're too close to it to see it, but I just don't see a world in which 7 wins is the Seahawks' final record.
I'm just looking at their schedule right now. It's got to be schedule related. I mean, you do see the Seahawks have a crazy schedule, and that's the only thing. 7-10 though, 7 wins that's assuming they're probably not going to win any of these big games. They're not going to win any of these former playoff games. You know, he's assuming you're not going to beat the Eagles. You're not going to beat the Panthers. You're not going to beat the Bears.
Chiefs. Might not even beat the Patriots in week 1.
Yeah. The Chargers, the Broncos, they're 7. And then if you add the 4 conference games that you're going to do, that's 11 games of 11 losses. I mean, but that's assuming you're not going to win any of those. So to me, that's crazy. That's absolutely absurd because you're going to beat the Raiders, you're going to beat the Cowboys, you're going to beat the Giants. You'd hope, I mean, those are the ones you're expected to win, I'd say. But I think that is pretty absurd to say you're not going to win. Even if you win half of those games, you can't get to the 10 losses. So, and that's being very down on this Seattle team.
Well, and another thing to remember about this Seahawks team is where they are starting from at this point compared to where they were starting from last year, where last year we had no expectation for them. And I think anything in between like 7 and 11 wins was within reason, at least for this time of the year when we were talking about the Seahawks. And obviously they blew all expectations out of the water, ended up winning a Super Bowl. But they are starting this season bringing back most everybody from the best defense in football. They didn't have to improve in order to become the best defense in football. And Bucky Brooks was asked why he's maybe not taking the Seahawks defense into account in this 7-win prediction.
They can, but are we ready to think that they're going to go about doing it the way that they would have to do it if the defense is playing heavy, that they're going to play very conservative on offense and kind of lean on that? That's a lot of pressure that you're putting on them. So I think we all can recognize that their defense is one of the best. And even though some of the subtle losses, like Kobe Bryant leaving the building, his versatility and what he kind of did as a glue guy, has to be replaced. And you think about Rick Woolen, and even though those starters on the outside are there, and you think an expanded role for Eamon Warry, you can even think about the role for Byron Murphy up front. All those things are there. And I expect that defense to play at a high level. As I expressed, my issues aren't necessarily with the defense, because I feel like Mike Macdonald's always going to have an answer for that. I think until I'm able to put my eyes on that offense and really see what it looks like. Because I hear about there's more motions and shifting, and it looks a little different than what it looked before. And that is great. But my thing is always, when you are a new coordinator, what are your answers to the counters that happen in the middle of the season?
All right. The defense is there. Yes, he makes that point. But that should be enough for 8 wins. Right, 9
just
wins at
roll
least.
The ball
at
out.
least, just roll.
Yeah.
I mean, look at last year. You allowed 6 points, 0 points. You shut out the Vikings. There's games where the offense didn't have to do bare minimum. Okay, and then you look at the offense, and I do look at this offense and go, okay, you have the offensive player of the year. You have JSN. Okay, you have a Super Bowl MVP, Triple Crown, whatever, wide receiver winner in Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I know he's a little older now, but it's depth. You have an all-pro returner, wide receiver, Rashid Shaheed.
Pretty good. A rookie,
Torrey Horton, who came on and made some big plays till he got injured. He should be back.
An emerging tight end.
So you have 4 wide receivers that are – I think a lot of teams would be like, okay, we want that squad for the depth. And then you look at the offensive line, and you say, okay.
Brought the whole group
whole group's back. And they cut their sacks in half pretty much from a year before, and the whole group is back with the same offensive line coach. Okay, well – if that's not good enough for you, how about Sam Darnold? How about a quarterback that has won more games than any other quarterback in 2 seasons, than any quarterback in history?
Playing with the most confidence
he's ever had. So I think when you put that much, when you say that about the offense, you have to look at who's on the field there, and he's not doing it. The only big question mark to me on this offense is going to be running back because of the injuries they had there, Kenneth Walker going, and you have a rookie who's going to be your starting running back, who if I'm a betting man, I'll say it works out great. I mean, I think this offensive line is going to be fantastic. The way that Brian Fleury is going to move the pocket and use his tight end, it's just the offense isn't the issue to me either. So I can't get on board with that argument to say 7 wins. I mean, like maybe if you would have went 9-8 or 8-9 or 10-7, something like that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I could see maybe a little letdown year could happen. But 7-10 is that's not a very good team.
That would be the bottom falling out with this team, because we've seen one 7-win season since 2011. So we're going on 15, 16 years where we've seen one time the Seahawks have a losing record, which was 2021. It was the year where Russ hurt his finger and Geno had to come in, and it just felt like that was the end of that era, and it certainly was, because that was the last time we ever saw Russ in a Seahawks uniform. But not only do they bring a ton back offensively and also defensively, but you're also bringing back the best special teams unit in football.
Yep.
I don't think that gets talked about enough, just how much Seahawks special teams swung games last year. I mean, heck, even dating back to week 2, George Helani picks up that ball in the end zone. That swings momentum in that game. The Seahawks avoid falling in an 0-2 trap. And really kind of use that win as a launching point for the rest of the season. We saw Rashid Shaheed have a big kick return against the Falcons to start the second half against that team, or in that game to jumpstart everything in the second half. So, there were a lot of moments that it wasn't just the offense and defense swinging games. It was the special teams doing it. And especially in the NFC Championship, you recover that muff punt and then punch it in for 6.
What I love about these clips like this is I can respect him for saying it. I can. I like
Put yourself
it.
out
and
there.
It's going to be fun
to go back
about maybe in December and pull the clip, and we're either all going to be eating our words and say, Bucky, you were right. I hope we aren't. Or we're going to be like, all right, seriously.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? We told you were wrong then, but look where we're at now. So it'll be a fun one to go back to. So you guys got to make sure you save that one.
I know we don't hear from Cable Thanos as much as we used to. By the way, when Cable Thanos was making his videos, the ones that would go viral during your guys' era, was that something you guys flipped on at all in the locker room?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, wow. He's
what am I missing here?
He's a social media guy where I think Russ actually ended up hiring him to his team for a little bit, where he would make all these compilations of all these NFL prognosticators getting stuff wrong about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And by the end of the season, he would, create this crazy YouTube video that's 10 minutes in length of just everybody being wrong and having the craziest graphics for it. He made one last year after, about a decade off. People were like, oh my gosh, he's back. I would imagine he's probably taking a little mental note here of Bucky Brooks going 7-10 for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's preposterous. Get your texts into the text line, 866-979-3776. B-Walt and I answer your questions to finish off the week here. It's What I Need to Know. You're listening to Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
If you're subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube, then you saw Wyman and Bob's latest digital exclusive first.
Cole Young, he is just turning into an absolute star. Yeah, he doesn't look like he can generate that kind of power. He's 5'10". He's listed at 5'10", 180. Yeah. And he's got big pop, just tremendous, and playing great defense. He might be your best overall player right now in terms of the way he's functioning.
Subscribe to Seattle Sports on YouTube and know first. Seriously, what are you waiting for?
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 11th and 12th. 480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars, and free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 11th and 12th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
There's always something new at LeMay, America's Car Museum in Tacoma. Explore the all-new British Motorcycle Exhibition and the thrilling American Supercar Showcase. Fuel up at the brand-new cafe, then buckle up on the most advanced racing simulators anywhere. Plus exciting events in July. First Responders Appreciation Day on the 11th. Drive-in movie night on the 24th. Tacoma Cars and Coffee with a Hot Wheels track on the 25th. And cruise in on the 30th. Bring the family and see what's new. AmericasCarMuseum.org.
Fast Water Heater has spent the last 40 years becoming Seattle's go-to at one position, hot water. Dave Wyman here, and I always talk about how important versatility can be. At Fast Home Services, they've built versatility at every spot in your home's lineup, adding HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. That's Fast Home Services. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate, or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community? Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best. Why Seattle and Seattle sports want to celebrate her? Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at woiseattle.org. That's woiseattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Rays today in St. Pete. 4:10 first pitch, pregame at 3. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, underwent Swedish cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer. What's it like to go through the cyberknife treatment?
You do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital. They say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It was just too easy.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Summer is in full swing at T-Mobile Park, and it's not too late to come on board as a Mariners season ticket member. Lock in a Mariners Flex plan and choose your games, seats, and number of tickets as you go. 6 seats in the bleachers one night, 2 right behind the Mariners dugout the next. It's all up to you. Plus, you still get all the perks of being a member, like priority postseason presale access and discounts of 10% or more and no fees on regular season tickets. Join the team today at mariners.com/flex.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know, how we're wrapping up the week here on Bumpin' Stacy. Curtis Rogers and Brian Walters, we've been with you today. They will be back, or at least I know one of them will be back on Monday. I don't know which one. Tune in to find out. But what I need to know, 866-979-3776 is the number to text. B-Walt, what is your best travel story, whether playing collegiately or in the NFL?
Well, college wasn't anything crazy. We took buses everywhere. So I'm just going to ignore that. Best travel story. Well, it's got to be a Super Bowl story in New York.
Yeah.
It's got to be post-plane afterwards. Anonymous teammates. Just finds himself streaking through the plane naked.
Wow.
But we won't say anything else about that. But that's it. That's got to be unfortunately,
wow,
one of my biggest travel team memories.
So Breno Giacomini. No.
The first interesting thing that's been said on the show all day, and you won't tell me anything else about
That is it. That's all I got. It'll remain anonymous.
Wow.
But let's just say it was a fun celebration the night before.
Crazy.
After winning in New York. Yeah.
There's
keep speculating. I'm not
so
saying
many
anything.
guys to pick from.
I'm like Coach Macdonald when he's not saying it's Tom Brady.
I know. Now I want to know who was the Super Bowl streaker on the Seahawks team flight
never to be
back
divulged.
home from New York in 2013.
Just
coach or player?
I just can't remember.
I have an idea. FOIA request from the FAA. Get the black box recording. The pilots must have talked about it.
Oh, there you go.
Does the air marshal take over at that point? Like, do they subdue this naked man on a flight?
No,
or does
I think people
are there even
appreciate
air
it.
marshals on charter flights?
I don't know.
I've never flown
I have no
charter.
idea.
I wouldn't
Actually,
know.
if they are, they're doing their job.
Well, yeah,
We don't know
exactly.
who they are.
It's like the offensive line. If the air marshal's doing his job, you never notice him.
You know, it's a real double standard because a Seahawks player does it and it's a fun celebration. I do it and suddenly I'm ruining the flight. I don't think that's fair.
Oh, it was that was something. We got out before there was a snowstorm. We got out, and then everyone else got stuck there for hours.
I saw a video of somebody at the post-Super Bowl party back in February of them dancing and then just dropping their pants. But they were in their underwear. Just dancing along, no pants on, at their ankles. They looked like my 3-year-old as she's like, waddling off the potty with her pants down her ankles. Like, no, pull them up. Like,
Wait, where was this?
This was at the Seahawks post-Super Bowl party.
This year? Or
this year.
last
I had a
Okay.
video sent to me.
Okay.
My wife was in attendance because she was part of the broadcast team, so she got to go, and then she sent me the video and was like, I think it's time to go to bed now. It was probably at like 2 a.m. or something.
Oh, those Super Bowl celebrations.
Sure.
About
Yeah. Just you win the Super Bowl, you got to take your clothes off. I get it. It's
2 for 2, I guess.
206 is guessing John Moffitt. I don't think he was on the team then, was he? No.
No, he was not.
He was not. 866-979-3776. This is a good question. Makes us think back to our younger days, but at what point did either of you guys realize that sports was going to be your life?
You want to
Me?
go first?
You want? Sure.
Take it away.
I would say probably 7, 8, 9 years old, around then, because that was kind of at the height of my Mariners fandom, Seahawks fandom, Sonics fandom, where everything I did from sun up to sundown was just like acquiring sports knowledge. Like I just wanted to read every book. I wanted to read every box score. I wanted to read everything that had to do with sports, watch everything that had to do with sports. And at that point, it was just kind of like, yeah, this is what I want to do forever and ever. And I do remember some adults in my life being like, well, you want to have a good backup plan. Like, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. And I was like, bet. And so, sure enough, here I am. And, I mean, not to say that, like, I'm hosting national radio or anything, or I'm not Stephen A. Smith, but, like,
you can't.
I've gone a lot further than I think, some people thought. Yeah.
I'd say my moment, this is a good. So both my parents were big Cougs, Washington State. They went there, and so I think, how old was I? 4 years old? Maybe 5? I don't know. But we went down to the Copper Bowl in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And
was that at Sun Devil Stadium? Was that in Tucson?
It was in Tucson. That's right. Yeah.
Bear down.
I remember watching one of them, like, country western, like, fake fights, it was
in Tombstone, Arizona?
Maybe that was it. But I remember finding myself in a full-on Butch costume. The Butch mascot, the Washington State mascot. I had my tail and everything.
Nice.
And we were at the Copper Bowl watching the game, and I was like, all right, well, I think looking back, that's probably when I realized I don't have a say. I'm going to be into sports. So that was it. Started with the Cougs football game, Copper Bowl.
Honorary Coug, Brian Walters.
Yeah.
I always forget, like, how deep your family's Coug fandom runs, and then you share stories like that, and it's kind of like,
I mean, my dad grew up in Pullman. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive. Let's see here. What I need to know, do you think James Wood of the Nationals would ever be of interest for the Mariners? I'm sure they're very interested in him. I don't think the Nationals are moving him at all, especially because the Nationals have a winning record and he's one of the game's best young stars. There's just no chance I see of that happening. 866-979-3776. They want to know, Curtis, what's the World Cup score between Belgium and Spain? Spain just took the lead in the 90th minute. It's 2-1. That game's being played at SoFi Stadium right now. That would have been the winner of Team USA in Belgium would have gone on to play that one. I think USA would have gotten soundly beaten in that one if they were able to advance. 509 wants to know, is Bucky Brooks on mushrooms? He thinks they're going to go 7-10. Wow, that bro is definitely drinking the Rams Kool-Aid. I don't know if he's on mushrooms. He sounded pretty coherent in that. I will say this, and you and I in the break we were talking about this, like, credit to him for having the take and then going on local sports radio to defend it.
Yep.
Because if you're going to have a big, bold take like that and then cower away from the spotlight, I can't get down with it.
He's not wrong until it happens.
Right.
Until it doesn't happen. How about that?
Exactly. 253 wants to know, does not pushing to get Julio back sooner say the front office says there's no point with the All-Star break coming up? I don't think there's... I think with the 4 days off, in addition to the 3 days off here, that's a whole week. Yeah. Julio's already been out, I think, a week. So really you're only having to spend, 10 days on the IL, and you get 14 days off. I would expect him back once the All-Star break is concluded. And by the way, the next time you hear from this show, it will be the All-Star break. Mariners-Rays series, that begins today. Luis Castillo on the mound. B-Walt, it was a lot of fun today.
Hey, thank
you.
It
was our first time hosting
together. First time, fantastic.
We spend every Sunday together during the football season,
That's
so
true.
Didn't feel any different than that. But he's Brian Walters. I'm Curtis Rogers. We're filling in for Bump and Stacy today. We filled in for Bump and Stacy today because it's over. Wyman Bob is next here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward every morning at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
The offensive coaching staff, how are they unique?
A tremendous diversity of skill sets and backgrounds. Fleury in particular, 17 years on the defensive side of the ball.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Looking for a new Mazda? Check out Mazda of Everett during the More to Move You sales event. As the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, they have over 700 new Mazdas in stock and are known for always offering the Mazda of Everett price. Awarded Mazda's President's Award 13 years in a row and ranked among the top 20 Mazda dealers in the USA for customer service. Shop at 11409 Highway 99 in Everett or MazdaofEverett.com. Dealer awards and rankings based on Mazda USA reporting and data.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer. Food in your cart and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard, or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeService.com.
When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Seattle to 67283. AlertSeattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars, a sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Kinematics Marine Equipment reminds listeners many boaters take to the water this time of year, and one of the biggest safety barriers is alcohol. The problem is alcohol sends clear-headed thinking overboard. Remember, boating is only pleasurable if you play it safe. Please, on the waterways as on the roadways, don't drink and drive. A message from the entire team at Kinematics Marine Equipment, your nationwide source for marine deck gear in their new location next to the Arlington Airport